There it is. Welcome everybody to another episode 31 of the Kasanova podcast. I'm your host, Mikhail Kasanova, Hawaii's self-proclaimed. I gotta put that out there. Self-proclaimed favorite YouTuber. I got with me the one and only Avidan Smith of the Avidan Show. Go ahead, introduce yourself, plug your channel, tell people where they can find you.
What's happening, people? This is Avidan. This is Avidan Smith at Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. Catch me everywhere. I do reactions. I do live streams up to about 4 hours, as someone says. My homie Aiden Quinn's like, "You still streaming?" Like, yeah, Friday nights we get it in. So we live stream. We do reactions. We do a whole bunch of things on the channel. Come through, have some fun.
All right, that's what's up. That's what's up. And if you guys are looking for links to all of his stuff, I got it down in the description below. So definitely go and give him a like, a share, follow, subscribe to his YouTube channel, follow him on Twitter. Yes, this guy's got amazing content. So glad to have you on the show, man.
Thanks for inviting me. Man, my day's been good. I was up playing Splatfest the whole entire night. Didn't get king yet. And I just say, you know what? I'm done with this. And then me personally, I don't drink tap water, so it's like we had no more water in the house. So it's like, okay, the store don't open till about 8 o'clock. So I just pushed it through, went to the supermarket, came home, crashed to about 2 p.m. this afternoon. So today has been more of a relaxing day, man. How about you, man?
It's been pretty good, man. Finally got to sleep in a little bit, but then I had to go take my kids to my mom to go take care for her to take care of them for the week.
Oh, okay.
Finally, because it is finally time for that to happen. So I have a weekend or a little bit of time on the weekend to myself. But I'm like you, man. Like I also don't drink straight from the tap, and I don't really recommend anyone at all do that.
Me either. In fact, I'm actually drinking only water for 90 days straight, starting May 1st. So I've been strict until that, and I've been working out more of a fitness exercise, more about cleansing myself and just cleansing my body and getting into healthy eating, because I just turned 30 in April. So I just said, I'm going to change my eating habits and my drinking habits.
Are we the same? Oh, damn, man, I'm about to be the same age. I got a couple more months, I'm about to hit 30.
So I know I don't look it. So
no, not at all, dude. I thought you were like 22 or something like that. Damn.
Same thing Play Essence said. Same thing OJ said. Like, nah, I just hit 30, man. So I gotta do a better job taking care of myself.
Yeah, I feel you on that, man. Yeah, like I'm doing that too. Like with my diet, like I switch it up. I cut out all fast foods, anything that's like pre-processed. So mainly right now I'm doing like just meat and greens, and some days I'll just do a full day of fasting and just water. And it's amazing like how that just improves.
It improves your thinking, the way you process things, and how your energy flow at work. Even if you got like 3 hours of sleep, you're working as if you got a full 8 hours sometimes. It's crazy. And I'm actually doing the same thing as you. I cut out mostly fast foods out of my diet. I'm actually going to start embracing brown rice and grain noodles and just grain bread. So, and I mean, actually, we can talk about this after the podcast another time, but more so like more healthier eating. It's like different things. I heard when you eat like white rice or on noodles that are not grain, it actually wears down on your enamel and your teeth, whole bunch of different things. So, so we got a lot. I can see. So let's just jump right into it, man.
All right. So one of the questions I wanted to ask you, man, was like, what got you into gaming and becoming passionate about gaming?
Man, that's a hard one, because between arguing with my brother, like playing his Sega Genesis growing up, we would fight over who could play the game first. And my brother was the type of person where he'll be relentless against you, even if it's your first time playing a game. So we played Street Fighter. I always get my butt whooped, but I kept on. But eventually I started beating him. And then my mom, like, she felt bad that I had my games of my own. So the first video games I've actually owned that were my own were Quackshot and Ninja Turtles, Hyperstone Heist. And I think even Alec Kidd and Shinobi 3 Return of Ninja Master. Those are the first games I've played, actually. So I didn't start off on a Nintendo system, but Super NES was my own personal console, and what made me passionate about gaming was Super Mario RPG.
And that game, that brings me back, dude. I remember when that first came out.
That's what got me into Final Fantasy VII, to be honest with you.
Same here.
That's what got me to Final Fantasy VII. So I have to give that game its props. That game is heavily acclaimed in my book.
That's what's up, man. So what got you into YouTube and content creation and streaming? Like, what was the catalyst for that?
Well, the catalyst for that was I've been dealing with a whole bunch of things. Like my channel, only a few of my subscribers, maybe one or two, or still subscribing. They may be watching right now, know that my channel started off as a faith-based channel where I would give different messages and different help and growth on information about that. And I would also try to fuse it with gaming because I was intertwined in it too, which was heavily in my life at this time. But as I started to grow more and more, and I started to see that YouTube is a business. And when you started thinking about things from that standpoint, they can even contest to you. They've been watching right now. I didn't even feel comfortable monetizing. I've been doing YouTube since March of 2016. So a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that. So it's like I was still around when monetization was still free. This is even before the 10,000 view limit. And it was pretty, I didn't feel comfortable monetizing that content. So I just said, you know what, I'll just monetize only my gaming content. And then as time went on, I just said, if I'm going to do this as a business, and if I want to really do this as full time, I need to start thinking more business oriented. So I started learning how to niche down my content even more. And that didn't really take into effect until 2017. But through losing 4 family members in 2017, it was so hectic. Like it was back to back in 2017. And
my condolences.
It was back to back. And it's like I had to basically be the strong one for the family, help keep everyone back and forth, because started with losing a good family friend who I did music with. He lost from cancer. A week later, my father-in-law passed with cancer. As I said, those who don't know, my wife is from Nigeria, so we had to go to Nigeria for that. Come all the way back here.
Damn.
Come all the way back here, and it took months to get that situated. So that was back in August, and found out my uncle passed the day after I get back from that. And then after that, after we deal with my uncle, as soon as I get back, found out my oldest brother got murdered in Vegas. So if you want to know what the catalyst was, life is too short to mosey around and just be on Facebook and Twitter all day. Yeah. Being real, life is way too short. I lost too many people, and I just said, I'm not going to sit around and just try to have to negotiate time to take off at work if I got to get up and move someplace. That's not happening again. So when I handle things with it, as the reason why my work ethic is so high, the reason why I'm so tenacious is because it's bigger than me. It's bigger than me. I didn't mean to get super real.
No, man, it's fine. It's fine, man.
I didn't mean to get that deep as the first question, but most people who watch me don't know that about me. So I figured this is a good time for you guys to know a little bit more about me.
Yeah, man. Again, man, my condolences to your losses.
Appreciate it.
Like the cancer bit. Actually, I'm about 2 years cancer free. I had colorectal cancer.
Whoa.
And I was dealing with that. My dad had
my dad is a survivor too, actually.
Yeah, like my dad went through it twice. One of my older brothers went through it. I think he's on his second bout with it, and I had one brother pass away from it. But
wow, my condolences, bro.
It's a battle and a half, man. It saddens me, like when I hear people who when they pass away from it, because it's hard. Cancer is I hate cancer.
Yeah, you'll be both, man. You ain't got no argument there. So, But that's a little bit about me. That's what kind of like catalyzed me to get into YouTube. And I started doing giveaways in 27. I did a giveaway for Super Mario Odyssey in 2017. And by 2018, I just said, I'm just going to hit the ground and running. And I was just since December 1st, actually, I just been super consistent. I just said, I'm not going to wait until the new year. I'm not going to go by the social construct of, hey, you got to wait till the new year to have a resolution. I said, screw that. I'm starting now. Yeah. And I started since December 1st, 2017. And I met a whole bunch of people since then. I've been blessed with so many different opportunities. Had an opportunity to be on Spawncast at one point. So shout out to RGT85 and Smash JT for that. I'm going to give you guys your rightful shout outs for that because you guys made that happen. So thanks a lot if you're watching this. And even then, I've been on Player Essence's podcast, his second podcast. Shout out to him as well. Been a major help to my channel as well. So I've learned how to just, if anyone's watching, if you want to do YouTube, this is not for the faint of heart. I'll be honest with you. You got to be in it for the long haul. This is a marathon, not a race. It's not a race to the top. You run at your pace. If it's going to take you 5 years to establish something, then pace yourself for the next 5 years. I just now today thought of a niche that I could probably get into, and I'm not going to touch on that in this podcast. I'm going to surprise you guys when I do it, but it's a lot. It took a while. It took me 2 years. May take you shorter, may take you longer. So.
Yeah, I mean, we actually started YouTube around the same time because I started back in 2016 as well, and all, the catalyst for me getting into it was coming off of cancer and just the same things. Just life is too short. I always fought, like, one of the people I've watched for years was Player Essence, and shout out to OJ because he helped me get started. Taught me how to do editing and how to do live stream, how to set up with OBS and everything like that. So I got to give him big shout outs. But
that's the homie.
Yeah, like back when I wanted to start, I had a lot of people, I had coworkers and whatnot telling me, back when I was in my old position, they used to tell me that it's too late to do YouTube. If you're gonna jump on it, you should jump on it in 2010, 2012. And I just want to tell the audience, like, if there's anything you want to do, start now. And
thank you.
Work towards it.
Thank you. Work toward. Yo, I'm glad you said that. It's me. Unfortunately, I never had anyone to teach me anything. I've learned since high school to self-teach myself. I self-taught myself how to make beats, and all the way till now, I've been self-teaching myself. I had to self-teach myself how to video edit, how to program, pull up tutorials, and the animation of my videos, I've had to self-teach myself how to do that because I just said, listen, I don't got the money to pay you people. I got 2 kids to feed. I got a wife. I got a house to maintain. I don't have the money to pay people to help me out yet. So I just said I have to self-teach myself for the time being. And that's another thing. If, you may be an opportunity where you can have someone to help you, but use YouTube as your biggest resource. Yes, there are tutorials for literally anything on YouTube for free.
Yes, sir. That's so true.
Even down to public speaking. If you don't feel comfortable behind the camera, there's public speaking videos on YouTube. There is anything on YouTube that you can do. And I'm somebody who hates being on camera. Contrary to belief, I hate being on camera.
You and me both, bro. I keep trying to tell people that. They're like, "Oh, you're natural. Just get in front of the camera." I'm like, I'm a shy person. People don't even get that, bro.
I like being to myself. I like shining behind the scenes, being the best. You don't know who did it, like that quick. Everyone saw heroes. Like you did something really fast. No one knows who saw it. Like that's who I used to be. So, but yeah, so that's basically where I'm at with YouTube, and it's. Now when I enter June, I had an original goal of 100K by December 31st, and I aim high just so I don't be complacent. It makes me drive even harder. It doesn't matter about hitting the goal or not. But I've just developed a more, how I say, mature goal, and that goal is to create a community of people who like gaming as well. You know, I noticed that, and I think I've picked this up from OJ as well. Like I've noticed that he has a consistent following of people who watch his stuff. Like, and this is not to big him up, and this is not even to big up different people. When I see the volume of people watching his stuff and the size of his channel, I'm like, bro, you're getting people who are watching your channel more than people who normally live stream other stuff. I said, there's people who have twice or 3 times more than you, and you're getting more viewers than them. So it's like, I'm noticing that it's how you connect with your people. And that's why I started live streaming more. I just said, it's about connecting with the people who are subscribed to your channel. And I just said, I want to give you guys that open opportunity while I continue to grow as myself, let you guys be part of the process.
That's definitely what's up, man. I remember following OJ back when he had, I want to say like 200 subscribers, and to watch his channel.
Oh, wow. You are OG. You are OG. you are OG subscriber.
Yeah, man. Like it's been quite the ride watching his channel grow, you know, in the consistency, the hard work he puts in there. Man, I got a lot of respect for OJ. Man, I just got to put that out there. Big shout out if he's watching it, or if you're in the chat, OJ. Thank you, man. Thank you for being a help to the community, to people trying to come up. So, yeah,
man. So, but yeah, so okay, we got work. We're gonna work this out. We're gonna make this happen. I want to hold you up. I don't want to hold you. I think.
No, man, it's fine, man. I guess my next question I was going to ask you, like, what triumphs or challenges have you encountered on this YouTube journey? I know you mentioned having to create, do your rendering and whatnot, but what are some other challenges you've run into?
One of my biggest challenges was actually delegating time to do YouTube. As I mentioned earlier, I'm married, wife and I, we just hit 5 years yesterday.
Congratulations, bro.
Thank you. So it's like, we're 2 kids later, and it's like my daughter was just born back in February. So the biggest challenge for me when I just hit my stride was to balance time to getting enough rest, to getting up for a full-time job at the same time. Mm-hmm. So it's like people are still worried about me because it's like you never sleep. It's like I leave my job, I come home, spend time with family, and then when family's getting ready to go to sleep, I go to work.
Yeah.
And I work.
Always on that hustle.
And I actually calculated the hours. I worked at 1 week, 36 hours on a weekday alone. Not including my day job, which is 40 automatically, but 40 doing my day job, 36 doing YouTube, and that's not including the weekends. So it's constant growth. And I just said, okay, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life, and I don't want to keep on doing a whole bunch of, mental gymnastics to keep on getting myself together. So I just said the best thing that I can do is start learning how to do things that's going to get my channel growing in a way that's consistent, because I love the consistent growth that I'm having now, but I just told myself I'm going to need to change up what I'm doing, change and disrupt my flow and how people have been seeing things and how people have been seeing things in order to probably increase my discoverability. And that's something with YouTube marketing that I've been learning. It's like, I had to teach myself SEO. I had to teach myself, how to title your videos properly. I had to teach myself what is a good thumbnail and how can I use the resources I have to make that good thumbnail. And it's a lot of investments. There's a lot of money that goes into different things. And I've learned it's not so much how hard you work, but how hard you work in a specific area. So it's like, if you spend a lot of time just producing videos, you may not get the results that you want. But if you spend a lot of hard time studying and how can you make a better video for the next video, you may yield that result that you've been looking for.
Yeah. Yep. I fully agree with you, man. For a lot of people, if anyone is looking to get into YouTube, definitely understand, like, it's a grind. You've got to be willing to commit to it. I look at YouTube the same way I look at the gym. If you want those results,
excellent.
You got to put in that hard work, that time, that dedication. And the biggest thing is consistency. And that's something like I'm so happy that you're so consistent with it, because there's a lot of people that don't understand that consistency, not
It's where
only,
it is.
yeah, you know.
If in fact, a lot of people don't notice that actually factors into you ranking in the algorithm. That
Yeah.
factors into a lot of people. And in fact, this is a little hack that a lot of people, I see a lot of us YouTubers have not been hip to. Closed captioning, having a closed caption in your script, that factors into the algorithm too. There's a lot of things that factor into the algorithm that I feel as though we're not utilizing. And it's like, sometimes I feel as though we're competing for different words. Like for me in a smaller channel, I've been wording my things differently because I'm like, I'm not going to rank for something, even though if it's a small rank or if it's still profitable for me to get, because of the volume of my channel, YouTube's not going to give me that priority yet. So you got to find different things that you can rank with. And I'm starting to understand that YouTube, you're truly an independent contractor. You have to find out what's best for you. And when I started looking at YouTube as a way of connecting with people and networking with different people, and you funneling that traffic to what you have going, because outside of YouTube, you should have something else that is yours. Yes. Outside of yours, you should have something of YouTube that's outside of yours. So if YouTube was to go poof tomorrow, you're straight. Like the biggest advice I've ever heard someone say, and I just said, this is what I aspire to, ad revenue should be the smallest percentage of your income. And that's what I aim for it to be. I don't want to be somebody who's living totally off ad revenue. So if I'm making 16,000 off ad revenue, which is a big gap a month, which is how, if you put it as a superstar YouTubers do, I want that to be this much. Compared, I want to create different businesses and different ideas. And shout out to Mama Mercy, because she put me onto this website that I had no idea about, Udemy, where you could basically pay for different classes and different courses. I was like, yo, I said, this is on here? And I'm thinking to myself, like, yo, we spend so much time on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, doing a whole bunch of different things, and we can actually teach ourselves how to do different things and go at our own pace. And I understand I can't put everyone on that same regard, because not everyone has that drive. Not everyone's built to think like that, or not everyone's there mentally at least. So I've learned to say, you know what, for me, where I'm going to take this as for myself, I'm going to spend less time just socializing in this period for myself and just grow my channel the proper way. So the biggest challenge, again, has been trying to balance time. And I'm learning, just getting new skills. To triumph to go with that is I've been learning how to do more animations and more 3D modeling on my own. So I could start making my own different logos and different things that could separate my channel more from other people and make my channel look more and more unique.
That's what's up, man. Congratulations on all the stuff you're doing, man. I like your hustle. Man. I love the grind, man. It's paying off, man. I'm not gonna say it's going to pay off. It is paying off, man. I respect it.
Appreciate it, man.
But that's one of the things I try to tell people too. I'm like, YouTube, like just like you said, man, it's got to be this much, because you've got to have other things. Like me, I got a website. I've got partnerships and endorsements with different game companies, different tech companies, different like services. Like I'm partnered with IP Vanish. Like there's so much stuff to the business.
Talk about me, you working.
But there's so much stuff that, you know, you can go in and you can have this residual income.
Exactly.
Where you're not working as hard. Yes, I got a 40-hour-a-week job, man. I get paid really nice. But at the same time, that's for paying the bills. I want play money too. So I'm always hustling, man. And it's one of the things I think about doing is doing a video showing how people, if they want to get into video game reviews, because you and I, we're gonna not on this podcast, but we'll talk after. I'll show you how to get that done, because
appreciate it.
It will blow your mind.
Yo, one thing about me, man, I don't wait for people. I like after that conversation, I started looking up different ways, and I was like, yo, I said, I see what you was talking about. I started looking things up already. don't like one thing about me, man. I don't waste time. I said, yo, I'm gonna go check this out. we'll definitely have that conversation, and I will share with you what I found out so far, but I don't waste time. That's one thing about me.
Yeah, man. Like once you get it going, it's amazing because you build those relationships, you get those networks with those companies like gaming, tech, whatever. They start sending you something. Like my PC, my build right here. That was actually that was the second thing I reviewed ever on my channel, and that was sent to me by iBuyPower, and I just reached out to him like, hey, I'd like to review it. Boom, there it goes. So it's a process. It's kind of a trial and error. Sometimes it's a hit or miss, but it's a consistency. And when they see that you're serious about it, companies will work with you. That's why, like, one of the things I try to tell people when I see YouTubers doing rant videos, I'm like, it's okay if you do one that's about constructive criticism, but when it's just bashing, what company is going to want to work with you? You know?
Yeah, and that's where we'll save that part for the Nintendo Switch. I got some stuff to say about that. I actually did a video about that, a pretty constructive one about that. So,
all right, so we can go ahead and roll into the next question, man. I wanted to ask you because this has been a hot topic that's been going on the last couple of days. I did a video on it a couple hours ago. It probably uploaded half an hour ago, but Best Buy ends Gamers Club unlocked.
I was just watching your video before you sent me the link for the Google thing. I was just watching your video actually. At first, I didn't think it was everybody. I didn't think it was real at first. And it's sad because I was actually thinking about signing up. I was like, yo, this may be better than Amazon Prime because Amazon Prime screwed me over twice.
Yeah, same here, man. I've had that happen to me, and I'm over here like,
and then the best thing they do when you call them is like, we'll give you a $5 $5 off of your next purchase. I'm like, I don't want $5 off. I want my package. So it's like I get it. It's not something that I would definitely, consider it's the best thing it's the worst thing that happened. If they're gone, it is what it is. I mean, it's not so much going to affect me so much because, again, I've been playing video games since you had to go to the store and buy it yourself. So and pay full price. So I'm like, okay. Okay. It's like I just go to the store and buy a physical copy. In fact, I had to do that twice. When my Mario Kart 8 Deluxe didn't come, that was the first game they screwed me over with. I just went down to the mall and got it full price. Mm-hmm. And sent it back to Amazon. I'm like, yo, just take your game back and give me back my money. And that's literally how I handled it. I just got my money back, paid full price for the game. And it's like, if you live in, like me, if you live in an area where there's not a lot of people or there's not, the volume of gamers isn't really that big, it's not going to be that hard for you to get day one releases.
Yeah.
I never had to wait online for either my Nintendo Switch. Now, that's one thing I did pre-order, though. I pre-ordered that from Walmart, and I'm glad I did, because even though there was a line of people still getting them that night, mm-hmm. I skipped the line, got mine, rolled out, went home. So there's only 2 games that Amazon Prime did not let me down with, and they're arguably my favorite games on the Switch. That's almost not Splatoon 2. Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Mm-hmm. And Breath of the Wild. Those are like my top 2 physical copy games that I have to say that Amazon Prime did not let me down with.
Okay. Yeah, I got utterly disrespected by Amazon back when the SNES Classic was coming out, because I pre-ordered it full. I paid the full thing, and then they sent out I did a video on it. I'm not sure if I blocked it or not, because I did the rant video. I went off. I was calling them all kinds of names, and then I kind of realized I'm like, I can't be doing that. But basically, Amazon, there are certain things that if you're out here in Hawaii, they won't ship it to you. Like, you can't buy battery backups or like portable chargers. they won't send it to Hawaii. Battery cases, like I've got one for the Switch. Like I actually had to get this when I was in the mainland.
Wow.
You can't have that shipped directly to you for whatever the reasons are, and so for whatever reason they considered the SNES Classic to be a hazardous material, so they canceled it. They didn't say anything to me. Then they sent me an email saying that, hey, we have some alternatives. You can buy an Xbox instead of a SNES Classic. I'm like, I already have an Xbox. I don't want to have to buy
it over again, right?
Yeah. And so then I went and I scrolled down further in the email, and it's like, we canceled it because of hazardous materials. So I was like, okay.
Like, what? You tell me this now?
Yeah, and they didn't even notify me that a week prior they had canceled it.
It sounds about right. And I get it, because the reason why I don't get too upset about those things anymore, because I've been learning to put myself in the company of those businesses, and it's like when you're dealing with the volume of people at the same time, it's unfortunate you have to be that one that gets that mistake happen to, but it's like, come on, man. But I try my best. It doesn't happen all the time, but I try my best to look at things from both point of views. And I just said, for me, growing as my own brand, I just said, I want to be mindful of both ends, just so I could retain some sense of professionalism as I'm talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, man.
So, I mean, the Gamers Club Unlocked thing, I thought it was really good back when I used to work for Microsoft, and I would go and work in the Best Buy locations like here in Hawaii, in Seattle, Washington, and whatnot. So basically, I did a lot of training, and I would help the gaming department sell Xboxes and whatever Windows products.
Wow.
And it was just interesting because I'm like, man, this is a great concept. Gaming Club Unlocked, you're paying $30 for 2 years, getting that 20% off. I'm like, this is something amazing. But I remember sitting in on a bunch of conference calls with, the managers of the store managers and whatnot. They were calling the district ones. And it was always made evident that this is not something that we're going to, keep doing, because we're not really making money off of it. And
right.
That's something that when I saw YouTubers, I'm not trying to take shots at anybody or anything, but when I saw a lot of YouTubers pushing the narrative of screw GameStop, don't buy from them, buy from Best Buy. And I was always thinking in the back of my head, I'm like, yeah, but that's not going to last forever, because they're not really making money off of it. Whereas, think about it. They're taking 20% off of a full price item. That who is that money still going to? It's still going to the publisher or whoever is making the game. So what kickback really is Best Buy getting?
Mm-hmm.
So I was just, I was looking at it like that. So when I heard word that they ended up dropping it, I was like, okay, I'm not surprised. I kind of saw that coming 3.5 years ago, but it is what it is. I mean, gaming's an expensive hobby. It's like music or anything else.
It is. It's a form of entertainment that's slept on. It's like when I tell people, I said, if you are a gamer, that is a form of entertainment. And yeah. I said, this is my advice to gamers out there. Don't let someone marginalize you into something that you're not. You are an entertainer. If you are a gamer, especially if you're someone, and it's weird I'm saying this. The reason why I struggle saying this sometimes, because it's mind-blowing to me that gaming has gotten to the point where it's on the same level as a professional sport. Yeah. In some instances, it's like when you look at e-gamers and esports and how that is ran. It's a form of entertainment, so it's like you can't discredit that. But I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole, because that's something totally different. So, man, These conversations, man. I'm trying my best to keep it in, keep it in one. But it's we could go so many different ways with this.
Go ahead, man. I mean, organic conversations they just grow, man. Go ahead, go in with it.
Yeah, man. Because I just noticed it's like when I look at what we're doing as YouTubers, and then in a sense, you know, we're entertainers. When you come in a sense of where, you know, I'm going by the actual definition of the word, not like ha funny, but keeping your attention maintained.
Yeah.
And in that instance, it's like it takes work. I would have never imagined when I was first playing. Maybe think about when I first discovered online, when I was like playing like online games, I first discovered YouTube. I would have never thought of seeing gamers review games, talk about games, playing games while people watch them online live. I never saw any of this coming.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like for us to be seeing this, and like you said, you was born in 88, same year as me. It's like, yo, this is something that you can get in deep now. So again, I'm going to reiterate it for you guys again. If you are someone who is looking into YouTube and you want to be serious about it, and you want to be serious about gaming with YouTube, look into it. Look at what, and I will say go a step better. I'm gonna give you something that puts you ahead of everybody else. Look at what you can do that nobody else can do, or nobody else can do better than you.
Tell them.
Look at what you can do and what nobody else can do better than you. And trust me, if you can do that and do it well, you're going to find a group of people who love it, and they're going to subscribe to you, and they're going to support you.
Yep. It's so true, man. You definitely, like, I tell people, I'm like, find a YouTuber that you like. There are things about their style you can incorporate into your own, but you've got to be original.
You have to be.
You have to have your. Yeah, go ahead, man.
No, you got it. You got it. You got it. You take it. You got that one, man.
But yeah, man, I just tell people you got to have your own niche, and it's got to be unique to you. Like, think of it as like marketing. Like, I tell people, oh, I'm Hawaii's favorite YouTuber. Do I think I'm literally that? No, it's a moniker. Like, I say that because if people were to think of
it's a tagline.
Yeah, they think of Mikkel, they think of that.
It's a tagline. Yo, if I say the reason, it's the way you start off your videos. Everyone, if you think about it, every YouTuber, every good YouTuber starts off their videos the same way.
Yeah.
And you know, one of the people that I've watched, and I would say one of the YouTubers that I've watched, and I've watched his channel grow when he was at like 100,000. And to see this dude grow to over 1 million subscribers, you probably know who I'm going to talk about. When I saw a dude, Tyrone Magnus, grow, I was
my
dude. Yo.
I remember that. I remember back when he blew up off that Star Wars video, I think.
He blew up off that Star Wars video, but the whole thing about Tyrone is the reason why I started doing my videos in a way, the one thing that I picked from him is Tyrone is 100% Tyrone in all of his videos.
Yes, sir.
He is him. He is himself. And I just said, that is something I want to bring to the table whenever I'm doing YouTube, is be yourself. People are not stupid. If you are putting on a show, and I'm not going to name names, but I'm not dumb. I could tell people who are faking, and I could tell people who are putting on an act and who are putting on a persona only for their YouTube. Yep. And then when they turn off that record button, they are a completely different person.
Yep.
The people who know me personally could tell you that this is a normal phone conversation for me. This is who I am. This is a normal conversation you have with me. And I just said, I'm going to do my best to open that side up and be as genuine as possible and be as authentic as possible. Like, I told one of my coworkers, I was like, I'm not going to redo this video because I had an issue where I did a reaction video and the reaction video, the audio was desyncing and it wasn't connecting back up to the video. And for a reaction video, that's the worst thing that can happen. So I just said the video scrapped. I can't do nothing with it. And she was like, so you're not gonna re-record the video? I'm like, no, it won't be a reaction video. It won't be real at that point. I can't do that. So it's like authenticity is really important with me. Integrity is important to me. These are things that I hold on to off YouTube. So naturally, I'm gonna bring it on YouTube. This is what I'm about when the camera goes off. And I just said that's the key. It's like people need to see that they can trust the product that they're going into, because you yourself, you're the product. Whether you want to believe it or not, you are the product, not what you talk about. That's the hack that no one knows about. You're the product, not what you talk about. Make people sell you. There's 1,000 people doing the same thing you're doing. How are you going to differentiate yourself?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it's one of the things, like, as I've been trying to find my style, I want to say that this is the year where I've actually kind of fit into my role of what I wanted to do, because 2016, 2017, I was trying everything. I'm like, I don't know what I want to do. And then I thought back to people that I enjoy watching, the Hodge twins. You know, Hodge
twins are hilarious, bro. Oh my gosh.
The Hodge.
I said, I have to watch you guys when no one's around, because you guys are too outlandish. I just said I have to take you guys in doses, because you guys are way too outlandish, but they're funny. I'll give them that. They are hilarious.
So, you know, the Hodge twins, Tyrone Magnus, my boy, the amazing Lucas, for his fitness, gaming, and political stuff. And it's like, I was like, man, I'm kind of that character in real life. I need to just portray that on my channel. So I was like, okay, I'll do that. And then what I recently did, I revived a brand that I had last year, where I had a collective of YouTubers, and we called ourselves Polytext, where we were political about gaming, you know, what we did and didn't like, and we'd had debates and stuff. And that kind of fell apart. And that's one of the things I've learned, like, not all friendships on YouTube last, but, you know, besides that point, like, I had that brand, and I was like, damn, what I'm doing now is I talk politics, I talk gaming, I talk social issues, I talk fitness. I'll just be Polytech. I'll just revive that brand, that name, and I'll use it. I'll have my own type of intro. This is Mikhail Kasanova going forward. And if I change here and there, I tweak it, but now I know what I want to do. Raw, uncut, edgy, just Hodge twins type humor, and I'm just going to go with that. And,
that's the best way you can go, honestly. So good to hear, man. Shoot. I found you on Twitter, and I don't know who shared. I don't know if it was OJ, but someone that I was following. It was like I started following you on Twitter, so it's like, checked out your work. I was like, this dude got some pretty good stuff. So I just said I've been sub for a minute now. I can't remember when, but it was sometime in 2017. So
yeah, man, I remember. I think it was sometime like late last year. It was when you started following that. I started watching your stuff. Now I saw shout out to Shinobu. He was retweeting some stuff you put out. I was like, damn, this dude got some clean content, man. Pulling the Hodge twins right now. I'm like, it's just clean, man.
Appreciate it, man. It's like I just told myself, I just got to get better. And that's what made me revamp my style. I started saving since last year for a whole new setup. Like, my setup was some straight trash. Like, do I still have it? I do. For those people who've been wondering, I was recording and doing all my stuff off of this previously.
It looks like a good computer.
It was decent. It got the job done. I didn't have no extra webcam. I didn't have no lighting, but just the regular room lighting. So my lighting was trash. My recording, the only thing good that I had was my microphone. And yep, Blue Yeti, all black. So I had to get some cheap lights, but I said they'd get the job done. My lighting got better. Got a cheap webcam. increased the quality. Quality got a lot better. And then I went and saved up enough to get a new desktop computer. I just said, I need to get something that can do everything that I want to do. I said, I do 3D modeling. I want to do animations. I do music. I said, I need something that can do all of these things and more. And I could still do my streaming. I do all these things and more. So I went. Now, everyone who hears the specs of my computer says I am preparing for the end of the world. They said they call this they call this like I'm ready to hack NASA type of build. Let's see. This thing has Ryzen Threadripper, which is
holy
that so you already know. I don't need to go into that. And it's the top grade, the highest grade. The 1950X, and then on top of that, I got 32 gigs of RAM in here. On top of that, I have a 1080 Ti. On top of that, I got 7 terabytes of storage.
I'm done.
I told you it never fails. It never fails.
Yo, you got a Threadripper. What am I doing in my life? Yo, continue.
And let's see. And I got about close to 1 terabyte of SSID memory. And I have a 34-inch LG ultra wide. So I completely remade the battle station. Basically, I'm ready to go to war.
I'm about to go to a Best Buy right after this, and yeah, I'm about to upgrade.
Yeah, man. I told myself, I said, this is investing in myself, and I told people, I said, this is a business investment. This is not a leisure buy in whatsoever. Of course, I'm going to play games, have fun with it. But for the most part, this is for my business. And I took it as a business expense, meaning I look to break even and profit by the end of the year of what I spent. That's my goal. And I guess that's how my mind works. I'm not looking at, you just spent I just look at, okay, I spent $4,000. That's how much the build was, a $4,000 build. I'm
looking in jealousy right now.
I saved up a year and a half to about 2 years for it. I say this is about 2 years in the making. So I saved after that. Let me think about that. Yeah, and I said I want to make about twice as much as I spent by the end of the year to break even as a business expense and just build and go from there. That's my goal. To go from there. And I am going to achieve that. I don't know. I'm not a fortune teller how I'm going to achieve that, but I'm going to make sure I make every way possible to do that. And I guess that's for me. That's for my goals. I don't tell myself I can't do that. I thank my father for that one. My father has broken that word can't out my vocabulary.
That's good, man. That's good.
So growing up, he would not let me say the words I can't. And that's just something that I've been accustomed to not say. I don't say the words I can't do something. And the new word that I'm starting to break out my vocabulary is I want. I'm starting to say I don't want. It's either I will or I won't. I just want to be 100% absolute in anything that I do. I don't want to do maybe here or there. I'm growing towards, I'm not fully there yet, but I'm growing towards just saying I will or I won't.
Yeah, I mean that's really where you have to be at, because if you want to do something, you don't even really have to worry about the how you're gonna get from A to B, because as long as you got that vision in your head of this is what I want to do, whatever, you'll be able to work towards that. So, dude, that's inspirational, man. Thank you for dropping that in there.
No problem, man. No problem. So this has been super dope. Super dope. I don't want to hold you, man. How much time you got?
Oh man, we good on time. I ain't even got to worry about it. My wife gonna get them. Don't even worry about it.
Oh, okay. Cool. So we chilling. All right, cool. Cool. Cause I was just trying to be cognitive of your time, man. That's all.
Nah, man, we good. That's how I had to. I just got the text from him, so we good, man. No worries about it.
Cool. So yeah, man. So what else, man? Like let's keep this train rolling because I'm liking where these conversations are going.
All right, so let's see. What are your thoughts on the rumored Star Fox Grand Prix and this outlandish fan outrage? People are saying that they want to be F-Zero, but then I'm thinking about every time an F-Zero game has come out, and I'm like, nobody really bought them.
No, they didn't. No, they did not. And I wasn't one of them either. So I'll be honest. No, he wasn't. But this fan fake outrage is a bunch of knee-jerk reactions. And honestly, I can pinpoint these knee-jerk reactions all the way back into when we had that January mini direct. It's like we have a lot of, I don't want to say fake Nintendo fans, but you could tell these are the fans who did not support the Wii U, but they're the people who jumped on board with Nintendo with the Switch. And I'm gonna say this: I'm a late Wii U buyer. When I say late, I got my Wii U summer of 2016. And people were like, "You're still gonna buy the new Nintendo system if it comes out in 2017?" I'm like, "Yeah." I just said I was unemployed and broke for the longest time. That's the only reason why I didn't get a Wii U. I said I always wanted a Wii U. And when I get enough money, I'm gonna buy it. I have enough money, I'm buying it. First games I bought, Xenoblade Chronicles X and Pokken Tournament. So moving forward. Oh, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. That's the bundle package. That not Deluxe. Mario Kart 8. I'm so used to saying Deluxe.
The bundle.
Yeah, they had the bundle. So I got that bundle in 2 games. So I actually got 3 games when I first got my Wii U. And going back to January with the mini direct, I noticed a lot of people have been on edge and hostile towards Nintendo because Nintendo's not living up to the imaginary hype in their heads. And that's what bothers me. That's why I said, for me, when people talk about the leaks, I'm like, I don't do leaks anymore. I said, I'm just going to wait. I learned my lesson. Because I was one of those people who got upset during the January mini direct, but I had to stop myself. I just said, yo, there was no information confirmed, but I just got on the hype train for no reason. So I just said, you know what? I'm going to slow that down, and I'm not going to do it no more. And I've stuck true to that. Since then, I just said, I'm not going to cover leaks too much. Maybe here or there, depending on the source, I'll cover it. But lately, even now, I didn't touch on the Star Fox leaks. I didn't touch on the Pokemon leaks. I just said, if it's a leak, I'm not going to touch on it. I don't care about it. That's just me. So when people are getting fake mad, I just said, let's just wait to E3 till we see the game. Because a lot of people have been saying this point, and I agree with them. We didn't ask for Metroid Prime, but we got it. Sure. We loved it. In fact, we didn't ask for Mario Kart. We got it. We loved it. As a matter of fact, I will even go as far as to say we didn't ask for Mario 64 and Zelda Ocarina of Time. And look what happened there. Because those games, a 3D Mario and 3D Zelda game going apart from the Super NES, we didn't ask for those games.
Yep.
We got them. And they did amazing. So what are your thoughts on that, though, man? I got to hear what you think about that.
Okay. And I'm gonna be a little raw on this one. So when it comes to Star Fox, the last time I've known any of the fans or people actually to care about Star Fox was back with Star Fox 64. Now, when Adventures came out, people complained out the wazoo about Adventures, which fundamentally wasn't a bad game. It was never meant to be a Star Fox. They kind of slapped the name on it. It was originally Dinosaur Planet,
right? And
they slapped Star Fox on it just so they can sell it. And I mean, if anyone actually back then played it, it wasn't a bad game. It was just basic. It's a basic Zelda game. And then when he came out with Star Fox Assault, which I thought was pretty freaking good, people didn't buy that either. Because in the GameCube era, people didn't buy a whole lot of games that were not Smash or Mario or Paper Mario.
Right.
Even with what is it? The DS one. I had the DS one, Star Fox Command. People didn't buy that. They didn't buy the Star Fox 64 3D. They didn't buy even the most recent Star Fox that came out 2 years ago, which
on really, the Wii U.
Yeah, which really wasn't even that bad.
It was actually pretty good. It's like I just didn't have the money at the time because I was saving up for different things, but it was actually a pretty decent game. I got the demo and I was like, yo, this isn't bad. Yeah. So when people are talking about they are mad that this is not the Star Fox that they want, I'm like, well, you wasn't financially supporting those games. Yeah. So if those games aren't doing well financially, it's insanity for a business to keep making games that are not financially performing well. It's dumb. It's like, try something new. And they're in a perfect position. Nintendo now with the Nintendo Switch, they're in a perfect position now to rebrand and reimagine their games.
Yeah, they really are. And it's just, it's kind of like this whole thing where people are now becoming fans of these franchises. When I remember when Fire Emblem on the GameCube wasn't selling.
Right.
And people they didn't buy the GameCube one. They didn't buy the Wii sequel. And like now all of a sudden everyone's a Fire Emblem fan. I'm like, really?
You had the same grievances that I have with Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter wasn't really selling well over here.
Go in
over here on the West. Monster Hunter only performed well over in Japan. So financially, when people got mad that Generations or Double X didn't come to the Switch, I was upset, but I was understanding that the fact that financially it did not perform well. Same thing with Monster Hunter World. Well, you wasn't supporting it that well over here. In fact, Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, a lot of people don't know this. It got so bad in sales, the game was only about $9 on the Wii U at one point.
Yeah,
I'm not joking.
I remember that.
I'm not joking. A great video game like that was only $9 on the Wii U. That's how bad the sales were over in America. Yet we want to complain that it doesn't come over. So I can't totally say Capcom is truly bad. Now I ain't gonna lie, I'm forever salty with Capcom with Street Fighter 4, man. I can't forgive Street Fighter 4, man. How they charging the DLC, but all the characters are all on one disc already, but they still charge extra for the DLC. I'm like, come on, man. Y'all can do better than that. Y'all can do better than that. But outside of that, you know, Capcom isn't that bad. They're not EA.
True.
They're not EA. So I understand it. I understand it. So Shinobu trying to start something in the chat. Shinobu,
should I bring up Phantasy Star Online too? I guess I shouldn't have brought that up. Okay, tell the people what they're missing because I'm missing it. I didn't get the chance. Did you do a rant on Phantasy Star Online?
I didn't. Well, sort of. I did a video. I did 1/3 of a rant.
Okay.
I did 1/3 of a rant. I did a video basically on. I actually did a pretty structured video on why Sega should localize Phantasy Star Online 2, and I gave 2 really good reasons. But during my drafting, as I was doing the 3rd reason, I said, "Screw this!" And I just recorded a mic and ran it. That's literally. I said because I said no. I want the game. I'm tired of waiting. I'm like I've been playing this game since 2012. I'm an OG when it comes to that game. I started when they first started, and there is still documentation on the internet that stated that they wanted to localize this game, and they were going to. It was supposed to be localized back in 2013. 2013. Here we are, 2018. And I'm like, why are we not going at Sega about this? And it's like the comments that I got, the most common response was just play the English version or it's not coming. Just play the English patch, and it is not coming. And I'm like, so you guys want to go through these hoops of downloading the game to play it on an English server. You want to jump through all these hoops. I sure don't. But you really want to jump through all these hoops? No. And I said, it's not about playing a game, but it's about the integrity of a company. If you say you're going to do something, do it. And if you're going to keep telling people it's still coming, it's still coming. Up until 2014, 2015, there are tweets of Sega responding to people saying it's still coming. Yet don't do anything about it. You still just want to jump off and not say anything at all. I don't trust that. Now, there's one thing that can make me say, okay, Sega, I can accept this with Sega Ages. If Sega Ages is supposed to be a now this is not confirmed. Now, this is just me speculating. I'm gonna voice that out there before anyone quotes me. If Sega's going to do Sega Dreamcast and Sega Saturn games for Sega Ages, then I can see Phantasy Star Online 1 coming to the Nintendo Switch, which will still be amazing in itself, because that was still an amazing game. Okay. So, but PSO2, it's arguably Sega's best game. Arguably. Both on a graphical standpoint, on a creative standpoint. Like I pointed something out to, because Shinobu's actually playing it now. He started playing it all over again. So one of the things about that game, the character customization in that game is so diverse. Like you could almost, the way you would design your character won't look like someone else's character. And I actually like that. It's one thing about MMOs that I like that other MMOs lack. It's making your character look exclusive to yours, to how you want to build them. The customization in this game is really in depth, and I really appreciate it.
Wow. I kind of got a bone to pick with Sega myself, because the whole Yakuza series, like how it takes them so long to bring that here. Like Yakuza 6, like I got it a month before it came out. I was like, this is cool, but this game has been out in Japan since 2015, 2016. So it's like, I don't understand. Like when it comes to Sega, and Sega, I know I love you guys. I have an excellent relationship with y'all, but I just got to be frank. Sometimes your business decisions make no sense. You have IPs that are willing to that can just get you so much money. You can print money. You could bring back Streets of Rage. You could bring back Golden Axe. You could bring back Landstalker. You could bring back Skies of Arcadia, Shinobu.
Shining Force.
I said Shinobu. I meant Shinobi.
I
said Shinobu.
We'll get past that. No one knows about it. No one heard you. No one heard you. Keep going.
Phantasy Star, like the original Phantasy Star series and the online counterpart, like there's so many things that Sega can do other than whore out Sonic.
I'll tell people this, and I actually said this in my video about PSO2. A lot of people don't know Phantasy Star was the original answer. It was Sega's answer to the Dragon Quest series.
Yeah.
It was like, if you, just like Ys and Zelda were going back and forth, these two games were going back and forth in their series because the play styles were very similar in their beginning stages. So I'm like, Sega, why not, if you're not going to do Phantasy Star Online 2, why not do Phantasy Star 5?
Yeah.
Why not do games like that will bring people's attention? People who are in their 30s will appreciate that. Now, Raging Justice, I didn't get the review copy for that. I didn't like the sound of that, man. I like the sound of that, man. I was gonna buy it, man. I was gonna go get it. What's going on?
It's a good game. Just don't watch my video where I rant about it. It's
that's a good game.
It is. Okay, so since you got a gaming PC, I'm gonna tell you this. There's this game you need to play called Fight and Rage. And I can get you in touch with the developer of that game, because it's a one-man game guy who basically built this from scratch, and it's the perfect blend of Streets of Rage and Final Fight. And after you play that game, everything else is gonna be like, why? What are you doing? So like when I saw Raging Justice and I saw it, the animation style just didn't do it for me, and I played it. It's okay. It's an okay game. It's not bad. It's just the animation's ugly, the music is horrible, and after playing Fight and Rage, I'm spoiled.
Gotcha.
I'm so spoiled. But yeah, I'll put you in touch with the developer of that game.
Appreciate that, man.
You know, he'll hit you up with the code because it's the best brawler nobody's playing.
Okay. Okay. See, as a matter of fact, you in the Metrovania games?
Yes, sir.
Have you heard of Phelan?
No.
I got put you on. I got I was supporting the Kickstarter for a while. Incredible potential. And their push goals, they hit their goals to beat the game, but their push goals is to get it on all 3 platforms now. Oh. On top of that, it's going to be worth it. Like I tried it out, and the best way I could describe it, I never thought I'd be mixing these 2 games together in one sentence. It's like Castlevania meets Legend of Zelda.
What?
I'm not lying to you.
Okay. I need to know more about this.
I'll tell you at the stream, man. I'll put you on.
All right. So I guess we can move on to my next question, and this is something I've been, and maybe it's because I'm getting older, and we're around the same age, and I'm kind of noticing it, especially on social media. But do you think the gamers today are far and away too emotional and reactionary when it comes to gaming?
Definitely. I mean, we got to look at it, man. We're in a different era altogether. You and I, when we heard about video games, man, we had GamePro magazine and Electronic Gaming Monthly. That's how we heard about new games. We got a magazine. We brought the magazine to school. We had our big debates at school at lunchtime. We talked about our favorite games coming out, and we prepared for those games, and that was it. That was the end of it. We didn't have GameSpot TV. We didn't have XPlay. We didn't have YouTube channels that we can watch to prepare us for these games. So it was a different type of culture altogether that we grew up in. In fact, it's the same. You could link it to the music industry almost. Yeah. Like how people who listen to music now, it's like their taste and their preferences are way different than it was for those who grew up in the 90s. So when it comes to gaming, for me personally, I can say I 100% agree they are far more emotional now because there's more of a platform to be invested in this in. Us growing up, even though you played video games, we still went outside and played. We still went outside. We knew what hide and seek and tag was. we knew how to play street football. We knew how to do so many different things outside of playing video games. This generation, and I can say it's really apparent even when you look at some universities today. A lot of universities, when I was growing up, there was a lot of people who were still outside. They spent most of their time outside and not in their dorms.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people who I know who are in college, their campuses are quiet. Almost everyone's in their dorm. You see people live streaming indoors, playing Madden, playing NBA 2K18 or whatever. It's a lot of people are more indoors because of the online culture of playing video games. So when you put that together, it's like there's people who are way more invested in just that alone. And because they're so heavily invested in it, it's so easy to become so reactionary and emotional towards that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's 100% true. Yeah, man, because I see it and I see people get, so angry or so emotional. And it kind of leads into that whole elitism when it comes to consoles. And I know, with us being the same age and coming from the same generation, I mean, we saw that growing up with Nintendo versus Sega. And back then, yeah, elitism kind of made sense because you couldn't own both platforms at that time.
Unless you was Biggie.
Yeah. Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis.
When I was dead broke, man, I couldn't picture this.
Yeah, man, like that's you know, back then that you didn't own both unless you, like you said, unless you were Biggie or your parents were willing to put that type of investment in. Because if you think about the consoles that came out in the 90s, you had the CDI, the Jaguar, you had the TurboGrafx 16, you had all these consoles popping up and dying.
Sega CDs, Sega 3DO. Then you had Game Gear. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Game Gear.
Sega Nomad.
You had so many things. We saw the failure of the Virtual Boy. You had so many different things coming out at one point. So I totally get it. It's like of them being so emotionally attached to gaming. But that's why I feel as though people like you, myself, OJ, because OJ's got a year on both of us. So it's like RDT85, Spawn Wave. That's why I gravitate to you guys' channels more, because it's more of a mature looking gaming. It's more people who are not necessarily trying to push any type of elitism. You know, for me personally, I entertain it amongst friends, but if I was to talk from a business standpoint, the console wars is stupid.
Yeah.
Now, amongst friends is you know, I can have those fun conversations, because to me it's like, yo, who's my football team versus your football team? That's kind of how I look at it when it comes to my friends. But if I was to get into a serious business conversation about it, it is not good for business at all.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true. You know, when I hear a lot of people that hate on Xbox, and I know we're going to get into this later on in the podcast, but when I hear people hate on Xbox, I'm like, I say, you know, it doesn't make sense, because you got to look at it. I'm like, it's not really a failure for Microsoft, because Microsoft is basically their business model now. Basically, software as a service or a product as a service. So it makes sense. Think about Game Pass. Game Pass, if you compare that to
genius.
Yeah, it really is. And it's really the Game Pass. You got their Xbox Live, you got their Microsoft Office, they have so many services that people just use because they work. Like Microsoft isn't worried about, you know, Xbox as a brand financially. It's not a failure. I'm like, if it's already sold over 40 million units, that's not a failure. It just doesn't have what you want. And you know, I can entertain that when a lot of my friends are like, "Oh, what should I get? PS4, Xbox, or Switch?" I'm like, it really depends. Do you want to sit in front of a TV? You want to be able to pick it up and go wherever you're gonna go? Do you like Nintendo games? Do you like JRPGs? You like fighters? You like shooters?
See, that's the point. I'm glad you brought that up. Because what you just said, every console has their strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
And in terms of graphics, Xbox is on top. In terms of online service and consistent online service, Xbox is on top.
Yep.
In terms of having the best gaming controller, if you're playing like either fighters or shooters, Xbox is on top. And with me loving Nintendo and Sony as I do, I'm going to be completely objective about that. They are on top. In terms of, you pull the greatest poll, there's a reason why. I have my Pro controller right here. There's a reason why Nintendo designed this like this. What controller does this resemble?
I don't know. It looks kind of like that Xbox controller. I mean, point for point.
So it's like, Nintendo sees it, Nintendo acknowledges that. You know, so Nintendo was smart when everyone was giving Nintendo so much flack for saying they don't want to compete in the graphic war against Sony and Microsoft. And I went on a limb and said that was the smartest thing Reggie has said up to date about Nintendo. Because with the Wii U, there was a whole bunch of, you know, dodging the questions here and there and just trying to patch up the Wii U while it was still selling. But when it came to the Nintendo Switch, they said, we're not interested in that fight. going mobile has been the best move because now it has created a desire to play these stronger tier games on the Switch. It's like for me personally, and another YouTuber, Rob, he said this, and I said I felt the same way playing Monster Hunter World. I have Monster Hunter World on my PS4. But what killed it for me was I had to be tethered to my TV. And after a while, when you can't play that game with friends, it gets boring. And if I have to be in front of my TV 24/7 to play a game, as busy as I am, like sometimes I just want to be here at the computer desk, have my Switch right here, and just play right here. I don't want to just sit on the couch sometimes. I want to streamline, do work, and play my games right here. Mm-hmm. And the Switch gives me that flexibility. PS4, Xbox One does not. And that's why I'm hesitant on getting different games. Now, I got Sony because there are specific games that I'm looking forward to with Sony. Key in point, Spider-Man. Key in point, which I still need to buy, God of War 4. Case in point, Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is a long time coming, but I'm investing. I might have to get a PS5 by the time the game comes out. But still, I was under the impression when I got my PS4 that Final Fantasy VII Remake was going to come out the latest 2019.
Yeah.
And I just said, I can wait. I can say it'll be worth the investment to get it at that point. So looking forward as a business, Xbox, they're not under the water so much. I said the only thing they need to focus on is creating games that makes it so they're not the best third-party games, but they offer games other than just third-party games. They offer games exclusive to them. I will say to this date, Halo 3 is probably one of the best games they have probably ever made. Halo 2 and Halo 3 are probably their best games. Everyone loves Halo 1, but Halo 2 and 3 was what did it for me.
Yeah.
And I can say these two games are arguably Xbox best games. If Xbox can take more time to create more games like this, and it doesn't have to be a lot, 1 or 2 of these games a year, at least 1 a year, is good enough. You don't need to make like 7 first-party games every single year. Make at least one great one for first party each year. And my case in point to that is look at Splatoon.
Yeah.
Look how well Splatoon has done. Splatoon, it's like even if you don't like the game performed decently well on the Wii U, considering its volume, its in the attach rate there. On the Wii U, I'm on the Wii U. On the Switch now for Splatoon 2, there's over 6 million copies sold.
Yeah.
So you can't necessarily say it's like, Xbox is out for the count yet. I said they still got some tricks up their sleeve. And I'm actually excited to see what Phil Spencer is going to say from there.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, too. Like, I kind of keep telling people, too. I'm like, why do you guys think that they made the One X? Like, they didn't just say, hey, we're going to make a powerful console just so you can play these third-party games. There is a reason why they threw that out there. And Sony, you look at the PS4 Pro. I've got 2 of them. And
I still need to get one. I don't have a 4K TV, so I just said, but now that they add super sampling, yeah, I might get it.
It's like with the PS4 Pro, like you knew Sony was scared when they saw the specs and heard of what Microsoft was doing. So they rushed and they threw that out there. But that's why I'm also thinking, I'm like, with these mid-generation consoles that have come out, I think Sony and Microsoft, they don't want to keep jumping to another generation, because every time you got to jump to another generation, look how long it took the PlayStation 4 to get decent first-party games.
Right.
2-3 years. And, people want this next generation to come. This is actually going to lead into my next question about the armchair analysts. But, people want these consoles to just come every 5, 6, 7 years. But you get into a point where it's like, is that really a good business decision to make? Because you're going to lose some people that be like, hey, I just bought this. Say, case in point, you got the Wii U in 2016. And a lot of people probably picked it up then too. And then they came out with the Switch. a lot of people probably don't feel like picking up the Switch or didn't at that time because they're like, hey, I just got this console. So you don't want to keep alienating your base. And I'm going to roll this into the next question of what are your thoughts on armchair analysts on YouTube and in gaming? When I say armchair analyst people, I'm talking about the people that make the videos or they go on these forums and they just cry about any and everything that's done.
I think the biggest thing when it comes to them is a lot of these people don't have any understanding of the law of diminishing return. And what I mean by that is
go in on them.
You don't understand that we're hitting a graphical peak right now. And I saw it in the PS3 to the PS4.
Yeah.
I saw it. It wasn't much. A lot of people don't want to admit this, but there wasn't much of a graphical hop from PS3 to PS4. No, in terms of visuals, it wasn't much of a graphical hop. There was more of a processing hop. There was a big processing change where the more you could process on one screen and how much you can see on one screen. Yes, that changed. Whereas, and what I mean by processing, it's you can load up maybe about 100 people on one screen in 5 seconds, whereas you go from 100 to 1,000.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I mean by processing. It's like how much your hardware could process at one point. A lot of us don't understand that. And it's like, even though the tech industry, the computer industry is constantly growing every 2 years, it doesn't necessarily mean consoles should stay in that formula. The reason why, again, Nintendo has shown that this is not their first rodeo. They stated that they wanted the Switch to go beyond 5 or 6 years. They want this to go as far as probably 10 years on the market before they make a new one. And I'm 100% on board for that. I'm 100% on board for that. In fact, I told people Nintendo is a modular console. Nintendo Switch, my bad. Nintendo Switch is a modular console. And when I say modular, you know what? Let me get my Switch real fast. This is just right here. I'm going to show people what I mean by this. My bad.
No.
All right. So what I mean by modular console, these Joy-Cons, you can buy these separately. You can buy your dock separately. You can buy your HDMI cord and your plug separately. The only thing you cannot buy separately yet is this. Nintendo just needs to sell this separately, and it's endgame. Because it's endgame. I tell people it's checkmate at that point. Because all you need to do, treat this like a phone. Upgrade the hardware every few years. And make it so your Joy-Cons still connect. And at that point, it's over. The Nintendo Switch has won at that point. Because while they'll continuously get mobile hardware updates, that's going to increase the volume of games that can go on the Switch at that point. That's going to increase the span of games because each and every 2 years, and this is how Nintendo could keep up with even the PC gaming industry because there's hardware gets cheaper and cheaper within around on average every 2 years. So the next higher tier of NVIDIA graphics cards that were available, Nintendo could really streamline and put those in here faster and faster. They could put in stronger onboard memory and say, you know, instead of a 32 gig, we'll put 128 gig storage memory on here starting off. These are different things Nintendo could start doing. And I feel Nintendo has already put this in perspective and say we can keep this going. I don't see Nintendo going back to traditional gaming after this.
No.
So with that, it's like, and we've seen that. And the reason why I'm using this as an example, we've seen sides of this when it came to the 3DS. How many times did the 3DS get so many hardware upgrades? Think about that. So many times there was a hardware upgrade with the 3DS. So from a business standpoint, I see them doing that the same thing with their Switch. If this is going to replace their old handheld, they're going to treat this the same way as their old handheld, upgrade the hardware every few years. And in this case, so people are not mad that they have to buy a whole new package Switch, hey, you can buy the tablet. That in turn creates more money, more revenue for them because they know most people got a Switch and most people are just going to keep on upgrading their hardware. And this way,
you could also tie it into that, like them bringing the cloud storage, which could be a key component in that too.
Mm-hmm.
But go ahead. Sorry.
No, you good. I was done. I was done. Like, one thing about me, man, like I said before everything else, man, I self-taught myself different marketing things. I've taken the time to understand marketing and why companies do different things. Mm-hmm. And I'm just trying to learn Nintendo's moves by observing Nintendo's fan base's consumer behavior. And that's how I'm learning how Nintendo's moving. I study the fans, and I'm studying how they're reacting to things. I'm like, okay, I can kind of predict what Nintendo's going to do next with this. Sometimes I'm on it, sometimes I'm way off, because Nintendo, they're S tier when it comes to marketing. I can say that much. They know what they're doing.
And they've been doing it for, what, 150 years or so?
Exactly. A lot of people don't know that.
It's like with the whole Labo thing, when people were upset about that, they're like, oh, they're selling cardboard. I'm like, do you guys not realize that Nintendo's a toy company first?
Yeah, Nintendo's competing with Legos, with Labo. I think we didn't understand that. Their direct competitor is Legos.
Yeah.
So comparing Labo to God of War, I'm like, does not compute.
Oh man. Oh, what are your thoughts on Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is supposedly delayed to 2023?
Entry, bye everybody. It's been good. God, I'm out. Oh man. Final Fantasy VII Remake, man. All right, all jokes aside, I understand. I'd rather them delay it and make it good and great than to give us some trash. And I know it's frustrating that we have to keep waiting. If you understand the first thing about game design, if you understand the first thing about game design, you'll know that is not no easy thing. It's like, I was discussing this with somebody else, and it's like we said the same thing. This is not a remaster. This is a remake. And I don't think people understand how big Midgar alone is.
Yeah.
Like, Midgar alone is huge. I said there's only one game I said that would match the type of build, the type of remake that would be on a Final Fantasy VII scale, and that's Pokemon. Yeah. Pokemon is the closest thing that I could compare. If you was to remake that game into a 3D game, that's the closest thing that I can give you that would take around the same amount of time span. And if you look at Final Fantasy VII Remake, you have to make this game. You could blame Breath of the Wild for this, and you could blame Assassin's Creed Origins. Seamlessness is the thing now. Say goodbye to loading screens. Blame this on God of War 4 as well. Say goodbye to loading screens. If you have to go from screen to screen to screen to keep loading from each frame, that's going to be a problem. You can't do that for the new Final Fantasy VII. Another thing you can't do, you can't make this a top-down RPG anymore.
Yep.
You have to show different. You have to show different real life effects. And like, a lot of people are expecting a lot. So you got to show the actual sky, have a daytime and nighttime feature when you're in the cities now. You have to show, how you're interacting with people when you're in different cities, going through Midgar alone. And then when you leave a town, the screen just can't fade black and fade back in, and you're in the overworld. It has to transition in the overworld, kind of like Final Fantasy 15. So doing that in Final Fantasy 7 and Final Fantasy 15 is a much, much smaller game than the original Final Fantasy 7. I don't care what no one says, because Final Fantasy 7, you needed an airship to get to different places, and on top of that, you needed a buggy, you needed the messed up high wind, not the high wind, the Sid's weapon.
It was a high wind, right?
Not the high wind, the first weapon, no, not the weapon, on the first ship. The first ship he had in his town, in Rocket Town. It was the first ship he had that,
Oh yeah,
the Turk shot down, and you can only use it in shallow water. That joint. It's been so long since I played the games. I forgot
can't even remember the name.
Like the Bronco or something like that. But
the tiny Bronco. Tiny Bronco.
Tiny Bronco. There we go. Okay. Sheesh. It's been so long since I played that game, man. So you have to fix all of these things and make it so it works well. And when someone said you could fit that whole game into one Blu-ray, I'm like, you're smoking. I'm like, you do not understand how big this game is. And everyone was fighting me on this and said, you know, one Blu-ray is about like 64 gigs. I'm like, so? I said one disc could be 64 gigs if we're not careful. And I said, not to mention, you just can't end this game with the one-wing angel versus Sephiroth. After a game like Dirge of Cerberus and you find out that Genesis is still alive from Crisis Core, you got to incorporate that now in the new game somehow. So with this is, I would say this is Square Enix's most prestigious project, because if this fails, they can fail as a company.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel as though take all the time you need, because there's too much writing on this game now. Now, you guys open the door and say we're releasing it. Now you got to make it happen somehow, some way. If we got to wait as long as Kingdom Hearts 3, I'd rather wait that long on a game that's going to be great, because Kingdom Hearts 3 looks great. Mm-hmm. It looks great. It's worth the wait at this point. So I want to see what's going to happen next. We're finally getting this game. I think they said this year, 2018. So now that we're getting this game, I want to see what Final Fantasy VII is going to do. And the Walmart leak said that game is available for pre-order. I doubt Final Fantasy VII. And I know NX Revolution in the chat said he thinks that game is further along than we think it is. And he might be right. He might be right. I don't know. I'm not an insider with Square Enix, but I'm not expecting this game anytime soon. And I'm just gonna put it to sleep at that.
Check your Twitter DM.
Hold up. Wait.
I told you I was gonna hook you up. I don't know if I gave you that one yet. But...
Yo, good luck. Good luck.
Oh man.
Let's just say you're gonna be seeing a lot more from this channel. This channel, I've been thinking about things I want to do with this channel, and I just said I'm gonna find more ways to encompass all of me. That's the only thing I can say of what I'm gonna start doing next. And a lot of research has been going into it. So the only thing is execution. So that's the next thing I'm looking forward to.
I think that's wait, I got two more to give you. Hold on. This is primarily everything that I found just digging. But once you get signed up with these sites, you're good.
I appreciate it, man. Appreciate you, man. Thanks a lot.
Man, no problem, man. Yeah, so let's see. My next question. So Boss Key Productions has officially shut down, ending their one, basically only, major game, Lawbreakers. Do you think Cliffy B, or for those who don't know, Cliff Blazinski, I can't even say his name.
Blazinski.
Yes, there you go. See, I can't speak to now. Should he retire or go back to Epic Games or Microsoft? See, that's one of the things that I have a hard time with pronouncing English names, because English is not my first language. It's actually my second or third.
I would have never guessed.
Really?
You speak fluent English pretty well, man. Very well, actually.
Samoan's my first language.
Nice.
So, but yeah, English. So that's why I stutter on words at times. And a lot of people like, are you?
I talk too fast. I just talk too fast. I'm from New York City, man. So
Oh, you're up there. My sister's up there in New York.
I moved recently in the middle of nowhere, but I was born in Brooklyn, and I have a habit of talking too fast, especially when I'm hyped for a subject. I talk too fast, and which is, this is an old question, but back to one of my struggles, learning how to talk slower, because when I talk too fast, I stutter in my videos when I'm recording. It means at the end of recording, restart all over again.
Oh man, I mean, one of my struggles is having to try and enunciate my English better, because there's sometimes when I'm at work or like I get excited and I start speaking in Samoan and people are like, wait, what? Like, sorry. What I meant to say was this. But yeah, it's kind of a struggle. Like when you speak more than one language, like for me to translate certain things from Samoan to English, and then there's not sometimes a direct translation. So,
no, I feel you 100%.
but
To answer your question about Cliffy B, I would say no, and maybe because as a game designer, yes, your company is over, but that's just one company. There's so many people who have had to let their companies shut down and just start all over again and come out even stronger than they were before. You know, you look at Cliffy B, as a game designer, he has the ability to put himself in so many more different situations. He has the ability to put himself in a position where he could actually, if you say put him back at Epic Games, even if he was to go back there, think of what he can add to the Fortnite series, to the Fortnite game.
True.
Think of how much of an asset he'll be to Fortnite. If you look at Lawbreakers was on a level of like an Overwatch.
Yeah.
If
was a
he
good
was
game too.
It was. I'm just shocked they had to get shut down, but imagine that type of ingenuity in Fortnite.
Yeah.
In the sense that you don't have to make it like this, and he could actually add character upgrades. You could say, let's make the design models look a little bit more like this. It could still look cartoony, but it's more refined. Or you could definitely say, let's add this game mechanic to this game, or let's make this game as a spin-off series of Fortnite. Let's add a first-person shooter mode. There's different things that you can do with your history as a game designer. And because you had a company, a lot of people just look at the negative side of it. Your company failed, right?
Mm-hmm.
The positive side is what it takes to build it.
Yeah.
That's the positive side. You know what it takes to build a company. And if it failed, chances are you know what not to do next time.
Yeah.
So people saying that, because I've heard it around, people saying he should quit. I disagree with that statement wholeheartedly. Keep going. He's still young. Younger, like still in his 30s, I think. Or is he in his 40s now? I think he's still in his
30s, right?
Yeah, isn't he like 36?
I think so.
Yeah, like he's still. Let me look him up real fast. No, oh wow, my bad. He's in his 40s. He's 43. Even then, still, you're 43, man. He's still young. Like, still do what you got to do. That's my whole thing. I don't ever believe in just throwing in the towel just yet, especially when you still have the momentum to do some damage.
Yeah, definitely, man. I would say if he even went to Microsoft, he could really take the Gears of War series back to a whole new level. I enjoyed 4. There's a part of me that just didn't feel that there was a need to do 4 after how 3 ended.
I could see that. They could have just made a new game, but I could definitely see where you're coming from with that. Gears of War, like my homie's been telling me, because now that I got a super computer now, he wants me to download it on my computer one day. I just said, one day I will. One day. But he's been trying to get me into it. And that's another thing I want to say about Microsoft too. they have two platforms where they're selling their games. A lot of people forget that.
Yeah,
they're kind of like Nintendo in the reverse sense. Instead of just having a console and a mobile, they have a PC and a console. They have two streams of income, just like Nintendo. And when it comes to their gaming, and a lot of us forget that. It's like when they say Microsoft Windows and Xbox One, they're getting the game twice.
Yeah,
and
that's why like the whole Xbox Play Anywhere, a lot of people say is stupid. I'm like, that's ingenious.
Exactly. Yo, NX Revolution, shout out to him. He actually made a great point. Miyamoto is still going strong in his late 60s.
Yeah.
Excellent point. Excellent point of not giving up, you know. So, oh man, that Cliffy beat him. But what are your thoughts on that, man?
I mean, I think he had I know he's had the challenges of overcoming his outspokenness and his ego, but I've seen from watching him from back when Gears of War was first coming out to where he is now. I mean, I'd say he's matured a lot over the years.
Definitely.
I think he's a brilliant mind when it comes to developing games. It's just, I think he just needs the right environment, and maybe he doesn't need to be in charge of running the company. You know, I think that may not be his strong suit, which, you know, everybody's not, you know, I hate
not everyone's an owner.
Yeah.
Not everyone's an owner. It is different parts. It's like, you know where you fit in. It's like, I'll say this. You can own something, but you don't have to be an owner. If that makes any sense at all.
Yeah.
Like you can own things that is exclusive to you, but you don't necessarily have to be an owner of a company. A lot of people think that once you're an owner of a company, you're a big CEO boss. So I'm like, do you understand the responsibility that goes with that? Not everyone can handle that and handle that well. It's like, it's not as easy. Being a game designer, like his background is strong as being a game designer. Running a company, your hands are not so much in being a game designer anymore. You're more so delegating those jobs to somebody else.
Yeah, it's so true.
So
that's so true.
Oh man.
So let's go ahead and get into this Nintendo Online backlash from gamers and YouTubers. Go in on it.
Oh man, I'm gonna get my phone. Where did I drop my phone for this? Oh my god, did I drop my phone?
He got notes, people.
No. Oh my gosh, I lost my phone.
Dude, from this. Take your time.
You know what? No. All right, I got it memorized, so I'm not even worry about it. It's not even in notes. It's what I wanted to show people. Most people with a Nintendo Switch Online, almost everyone downloaded the app. I am willing to assume more than 50% of those people who downloaded that app, they did not use the feedback option on that app to say what is wrong with the app.
Get him.
That is my number one issue when it comes to the Nintendo Switch Online app. Most people are scattered. Do you really, I said this in my video, do you really think Nintendo is going to look for you on Twitter, on Facebook, and on your ranting YouTube video where you're ranting on how bad it is? Do you think Nintendo's going to care what you have to say where you're all scattered and they're going to take note of what everyone's going to say? They're going to try to take note on the big channels who are speaking about it and the people who follow directions and contacted them. But if the volume of people are not contacting them on the app, what service are we making? How are they going to know what's wrong with the app? How are they going to know this is or isn't a good idea if you're not using the feedback option? It's there for a reason. Why? Because as a company, it's easier for them to track the volume of people. Second point, it goes back to that knee-jerk reaction that you was talking about earlier. Far too reactionary, far too emotional with not enough facts. Like literally, man, I don't understand how you could judge an app off the trial version. Yeah. This is a free trial version of the app. My dude, have you ever had a free trial version that gave you the full benefits of the version?
Hell no.
Like, have you ever had that happen? Never. The paid subscription service starts in September, meaning you're not going to know fully until September what this thing can do. So all the things that we're saying, hey, Nintendo should do this, should do this, should do this, should do this, it's probably already there. They just gave you the basics of what you want to do with this. Like, okay, does this work? Does that work? Does this work? Does that work? I even brought it into an example of when you go to GameStop and you want to play the Nintendo Switch over there. You don't see this attached to the screen.
Yeah.
You see these.
Yep.
So, and why that's by design. Why? Because they want you to get used to playing with this, because this is the selling point. They want this because you know what? On a shelf, this is about $79. I think it was $79.99. No, $69.99, right? Mm-hmm. These were $79.99. Which one do you want to sell? $79.99? Hey, 2 players for $79.99. 1 player for $69.99. Marketing, visual marketing, all in one. So again, Nintendo, when it comes down to it, they want you to go ahead and buy the splitter, buy these headphones that they had with Hori, and try this thing out through the wired connection. Why? Because they understand, as much as people want to complain about it, a lot of people aren't on the Bluetooth headphone feed yet.
Yeah.
Most people, if you do an analysis, most people aren't into Bluetooth headsets yet. Most people are still using wired connections. So again, does it make financial sense to give only Bluetooth option for your headphones?
Exactly. And people are also overlooking the whole concept too of like, there was that patch they put out where if you had like the PlayStation wireless headset, if you have the USB, if you plugged it into the dock and just, if you're playing on the couch, you can just select the headset. A lot of people don't even know about that. So I agree with you, man. People don't really understand.
I was reading on Derek64 said, thanks for the correction. It's $80 for the Pro. So it must have been $90 for the Joy-Cons. Thanks for correcting me on that, bro.
Is it really? I thought the Pro
maybe it went down, but I was going by original price. Maybe it went down, but
look it up.
Either way, man. I'm excited.
The Pro controller was $69.
Oh, okay. So I wasn't tripping.
Yeah.
I was not tripping at all. Nah, they $10 cheaper for the pair and $40 for the single. I'll read that. I don't want to get us detracted off the topic. No disrespect for you, Derek. I just want to not get distracted. I would have went on Amazon and started looking at different things. And I don't want to break up the flow, but I definitely appreciate you commenting on that, bro. But yeah, that's how I feel when it comes to the backlash. I feel the backlash is unwarranted. I feel the backlash is uneducated. Not to say people are stupid, but it's uneducated backlashes. It's like, you're not going to effectively talk to the company about your grievances if you're not going to properly contact them. Had we actually contacted them in a way that would have been sustainable, Nintendo would have had a lot more data that they could work with, and consequently, maybe could have had this thing out a little bit sooner. Yeah. We made their job harder for them to truly track traffic on what people were saying about the Nintendo Switch Online app.
Yeah.
And anyone could say, go look at YouTube, but who has time to watch 7 5-minute or 10-minute videos? That's 35 to 70 minutes worth of stuff. That's a lot of time when you got a business to run.
That's so true. So true.
So Ah,
The other thing that kind of gets me though is the people complaining about the price.
what? wait a minute. So you mean to tell me? Oh, here's my phone right here. So you mean to tell me people are upset because they spend more for lunch in a week, but they can't spend 20 in a year?
You mean in a night, like for just in one day?
One day there. If you eat out, let's calculate it. You do fast food for three meals a day. That's easily one day.
Oh man.
I don't know how. No, you're not a Nintendo fan if you're getting mad about that.
I mean, like, it's $20. Compare that to Xbox Live or PlayStation Network, which PlayStation Network used to be $10 cheaper than Live, and then they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna charge you $10 more." I just, dude, when I hear people crying about that, I honestly don't even know what to say.
But how? I can't process this.
It really, like, for me, man, it doesn't compute because I'm like, that's $20. And yo, shout out to Den Avery. He's also a YouTuber and he's a graphics artist too. I think YouTube should definitely link up. But like Dan said, fast food costs almost $20 an order now. You mean you can pay that for fast food, but you can't?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just done with that. Like I can't fathom that. Like $20, man. If you mad about the $20, you better not be mad about the $4, bruh. For 1 month, $4 a month. And it's like Nintendo just handed you the basic price, the marketing tier pricing. They handed you the 4, 8, 20. It's like, hey, you want to pay, $48 a year for every 1 month or $20 a year. They gave you the basic marketing. You just saying that's too much, man. If you saying that's too much, man, shoot, you are either the biggest saver of all time, or you just looking for something to argue about. Because man,
yeah. I guess we can segue into the next topic because
yeah,
I don't know what else to say about that one. Like when I heard people complaining about the price, I'm kind of like I don't know what to tell you. All right, so the Nintendo Switch has been hacked. Right. However, will that truly affect sales, and will the general public jump on trying to physically hack the Nintendo Switch? I don't think that it will. But what do you think?
I don't think so either, mainly because it goes back to what I was saying about the Nintendo Switch. If, of course, again, if they are upgrading the hardware every few years, and not only that, not with hardware upgrades, but software upgrades as well. Every time they make a software, the thing about these hacks are only sustainable for that one software upgrade. So you're only going to have a select minority of people who are going to try to hack their Switch. And not only that, I think Nintendo is doing something that they're not exactly telling us, but excuse me, there is some form of tracking on a Nintendo Switch that wasn't on the Wii U. The fact that they could track your gaming time, I'm not going to put it against them that they could track a little bit more than that. They could track who's trying to access what and when they're trying to access what. You know, Nintendo has logs on different things. I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo has a log time on how long you've been logged onto the eShop, how long you've been logged onto different things. So if you are doing going into different areas, Nintendo could probably red zone an area and say, okay, someone's hacking this area. And they're letting the people with homebrew do it. But when it starts becoming a common thing, they're going to get a whole bunch of people all at once. And the reason why I go with this is a company, like I said, I do music. I used to make beats on FL Studio. Easiest way they caught people were when you had a hacked version of the program. You could download it, make beats for free. At the top left, the name that registered the product will be right there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how they tracked it. So everyone who put up videos, they'll see that name at the top left and say, oh, this isn't your product. So I feel as though Nintendo's going to have a way where they could track to see who's hacking what. And then these people homebrew are hacking it. They just going on the chance to not getting caught. But I feel there's going to be a lot of amateur people getting caught and a lot of lawsuit cases going against, Nintendo and the regular people. And it's not going to be pretty. It's going to be really bad for them. And aside from these software upgrades, you're going to see that it's pointless for you to kill the warranty on your Switch. And then literally a month later, there's a software upgrade rendering your console useless and possibly bricked.
Yep. That's why I've had a lot of people ask me like if I would be willing to hack mine. I'm like, nope. Now, if I gotta physically modify it, no.
Exactly. It's not worth it for me. Wait, there's a way to get Steam games online to do some hackers though. Yeah, I see that. Okay. But yeah, for me personally, I don't see anything happening to that at all. I don't see it lasting long. The Switch is a different animal than the Wii U. The faster we realize that, the faster we're going to see this thing become even more successful.
Yes, sir. All right. We rolling down. We only got 2 topics left.
Yeah, man. We wasn't an hour, but we're almost at our regular time.
So your thoughts on Xbox as a brand and a console?
Xbox is not for me as a consumer. That's what I would say. For me as a consumer, and I make jokes with friends. I say the X-Bone jokes, Xbox none. I'd say all these jokes with friends. But if I was to be completely serious and completely objective, as I stated earlier, they are a powerhouse company. They got the most powerful console out right now. The most powerful console ever made is in the Xbox franchise. The best online service is attached to the Xbox franchise. Getting games, first-party day one games with the Xbox Game Pass with that subscription service is on Xbox. All of these things are on Xbox. Again, Xbox has the best controller for fighting games and shooting games. So when it comes down to it, Xbox is a pretty solid company. I got no grievances against them. It's just for me, I buy a console for their games. And most of the games for Xbox don't really interest me. That's just me. Like Sea of Thieves doesn't do much for me. Halo, I'm here and there with Halo. I almost go with the PC alternative. And going outside of Halo, let me see. Going outside of Halo, I really can't think of too many Xbox games outside of that. Gears of War, thank you. I was trying to remember. You talked about it earlier. Gears of War. Gears of War is a great game. But outside of those games, I don't see myself investing that much in a console. So it's not the best for me. But in terms of them as a company, I feel Phil Spencer understands what it means to be a great game company. And contrary to belief, I would say something extremely controversial. Something that you probably haven't heard said.
Okay.
They should have stuck to their guns with their original Xbox plan.
How so?
I felt like it was knee-jerk reactions. Think about it this way: how many people actually trade in their games, even like in terms of I'm talking about the macro limit, not the micro. In terms of the macro of consumers, how many of them actually trade their games? How many of them don't keep the games exclusively for themselves anyway?
Oh, the DRM thing.
Yeah. How many of them actually been going against that? It's not that many people.
Yeah, that's true.
In terms of the volume compare, people just, it was the whole mentality thing of you don't want something taken away from you. Even though you're not using it, you just don't want that freedom taken away from you. And the Xbox, the thing, it has to always be on, all these different things, always has to be connected to the internet. Again, these things we're freaking out because we're thinking like cybernet, Terminator status, and all this other stuff. But here and still, my Switch always connected to the internet. My PS4 always connected to the internet. So it is something to really get upset about.
Yeah.
So if they was to stick to their guns, I feel as though they would have had a much better start. Their sales in the beginning was due to that E3 performance. But if they would have stuck to their guns and they did not waver at all, I felt they could have did a lot better than they're doing right now.
Yeah.
And I feel Phil Spencer understands that. And that's why he's been having the public speaking he has. I'll say out of all the companies, Phil Spencer speaks up for his brand the most and the best.
Yeah. And he actually works with the community, which is something you don't see a lot of game developers or people within the game companies do. He's very active in the community, so I give him that.
Yeah.
You know, and I kind of want to speak on one thing. I know, I had this with, like, one of my former guests, or guests was on one of the other podcasts I had. He Bought Gamer. He brought up, both on my podcast and on his channel, something that's very true that a lot of people don't think about. I hear a lot of people say that Sony has more exclusives than Microsoft, but if you were to break it down to first party exclusives, Sony actually, with the PlayStation 4 compared to the Xbox One, they actually don't have more exclusive. What Sony has over Microsoft is the fact that they will publish Japanese games or third party games under their banner, where in Japan they're not published by Sony. So that's
exactly
one leg up that they have over, on top of the fact that they also have that presence in the Japanese market. Microsoft has never been able to penetrate the Japanese market. And that's always been something that's going to work against them. So when I hear people say, like, oh, Xbox doesn't have any games, Xbox has games. It's just when it comes to their first party experiences with single player games, there's not really, they have a lot to offer. But after 2015 or 2016, it kind of dropped off because a lot of the Xbox gamers weren't buying them.
Right.
And that's they themselves. And I'm not trying to be really critical of Xbox fans. I love Xbox, but you have to think, and shout out to Nintendo Direct. He brought that up in the chat.
Yeah.
The fans didn't support it. So
come on, Nick.
Nick's
the homie. Nick's the homie. I gotta say that.
Yeah. So it's gonna take time. I don't think the Xbox brand is dead. I've seen a lot of people
I don't think so
Twitter that have pushed the narrative, like they want Microsoft to go third party, they want the Xbox to die off. And I keep telling people, you don't want to have a gaming industry with only one or two companies running it. Look back, I say, if you want to have a perfect understanding of why that's not a good idea, look back to Nintendo in the 80s. So Nintendo
it breeds competition. It breeds competition. It pushes everyone to the forefront. And to go from your point, I have to say the reason why I don't necessarily want when it comes to gaming, the reason why I don't want Xbox to go away is because they have really, before anybody else, Sega started it, but Xbox pioneered online gaming.
Yeah.
You know, Sega was the forerunner, but Xbox was the pioneer of online gaming for consoles. That is.
Yeah.
And when you look at all those games, I look at the original Xbox, which to this day is one of the most underrated systems of all time. To this day. Like I say that, and it came out, and the reason why it was underrated is because of how well the PS2 was doing. And during that same era, you had the GameCube. So the GameCube and the Xbox are arguably the two most underrated systems. It's because they were out during the era of the PlayStation 2, which to this day sold the most out of anybody.
Yeah.
And looking at it from that standpoint, I will say being able to play games like Halo, being able to play games like Dead or Alive, like people got to thank Xbox for that. Xbox brought back Dead or Alive.
Yeah. And Ninja Gaiden.
And Ninja Gaiden, exactly. They brought back Ninja Gaiden. I love the first game, bro. That game was amazing. What else? And then they also brought back Phantasy Star Online. A lot of people don't know about that. They brought back Phantasy Star Online 1, and they brought it back before the GameCube did. And I just have to say, it's like they've had a really strong run. 360 was their time of, you know, doing the third parties and taking Sony's exclusive third party games for themselves, like Grand Theft Auto, Final Fantasy 13, all these different games. So looking at past 360, we're here in the Xbox One. I see they're trying to really solidify themselves as a company that's going to have longevity outside of the basic things we know them for.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that's true. And you know, I'm so glad Dan brought this up in the chat, but can you imagine if, and actually, yeah, it's true. Panzer Dragoon Saga and Jet Set Radio Future are actually still exclusive to Xbox. If Sega really fully teamed with Microsoft, they would have been a powerhouse.
Man,
you know,
that would have been it. That would have been it. Because honestly, at that point, Sonic would have had a better home and have a better footing. Could you imagine if Sonic was truly remastered in a clear-cut form? Like he had a better... The reason why Sega is not making Sonic look the way he does, Sonic still looks super cartoony, is because it's the funding. If he had that Microsoft Windows backing, say whatever you want about Windows. They have terrible updates and all this different things, but if you was to design Sonic on a real like Unity or Unreal Engine hardware, it's curtains. Sonic would literally destroy almost anything out, because the reason why Sonic the Hedgehog, I'll go on a limb to say this. The reason why Sonic the Hedgehog was such a competitor against Super Mario is because he actually had a style that fit him and a style that you could want to play over and over again. Even though you only had a few short levels, they were levels you would always want to play for, because they paid attention to not only gameplay, they paid attention to gameplay, they paid attention to replayability, and they paid attention to music. The music in the original Sonic games is, to this day, some of my favorite retro games of all time.
Yeah.
And my God. Yeah. I just saw what Did said. Sega, Microsoft, and Rare. I just got chills from that. Oh my gosh. And Nuts is going to go ahead and say Sega Soft. Oh my gosh. Yo, listen, if Sega makes a real comeback, Like, listen, man, I'll have to make a video and I have to make to play the Rocky theme because that's the biggest comeback of all time.
Yeah.
Like Sega needs its own console again. I've been saying it for the longest. Like I was so sad when Dreamcast didn't do well.
Yeah.
Dreamcast was ahead of its time in so many ways, shapes, and forms.
Man, Dreamcast too. That's why, like, when I think about this, like Atari box, I know a lot of people are crapping on. I'm like, let Atari do their thing. It's gonna come and go.
Yeah, it's like the grown folks waiting for Sega, basically. The grown folks are waiting for Sega. That's all I gotta say. We're waiting for Sega to make a big announcement, say we've been working on this for a really long time. We're happy to announce Dreamcast 2. Like, what?
You're gonna pull people back into the fold. Nintendo's gonna be sweating.
Like it'll be over. It'll be over. Like Nintendo would really have to push their first parties more to the forefront more than ever. And they have been.
Yeah.
They have been now because I think they foresee a storm coming. And it's so calm right now. I think this E3 is going to probably be one of the best E3s of all time.
Yeah.
I'm really predicting that Sony's going to announce PlayStation 5. Even though I don't want them to, I think they're going to announce it.
Yeah. But we get Dreamcast 2, and if they make the slogan, Sega does what Nintendo, oh man. All right, man. So
we're getting there. We're getting there.
So my last question is upcoming games. Which ones are you excited for? Which ones are you not excited for?
Games I'm excited for is both on PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch, actually. On Switch, I'm highly excited for Octopath Traveler.
Mm-hmm.
We know this is an upcoming title, so I might as well mention it. I'm excited for the Pokemon game. I'm excited for Smash. Those are the top 3 games I'm excited for. I can't really say Star Fox and Metroid Prime. I didn't see anything about those games yet. But Pokemon, I can't say I saw anything about Smash and Pokemon, but those franchises never led me wrong. So I have faith in the sense that those are going to be good. In terms of Sony, I'm excited for Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm excited for Soul Calibur 6. And I'm also excited for Spider-Man.
I can't talk about Soul Calibur, but it's good. Insider info is good.
I'm gonna look at one of those emails. Like, one of the wait, I have to say 2 more games I'm excited for. Actually, I'm not gonna say excited, but I'm intrigued about Mario Tennis Aces.
I never played the last one, so I don't know. Like, I heard a lot of people crapped on the last one, but I've always liked Mario Tennis.
Like in terms of the graphics, in terms of like the story mode, it looks refreshing. So I'm intrigued about that game. But there is one game I'm excited for, and we're gonna have a few matches in this game. It's coming out.
You're not ready.
In just a few weeks.
You're not ready. You're not ready.
You're not ready. I do got the joystick ready.
Bruh. You're not ready.
I am waiting for Street Fighter 30th anniversary, man. I am a big Street Fighter fan. I need to get a joystick. I need to. But I'm a big Street Fighter fan. But I just saw that was a Nintendo Switch joystick. Was that more insider?
Yeah.
Yo. I may need to, because that looks
clean.
Yo. Oh my goodness. I may need to get that. You show me that though, just confirm something for me with Nintendo's hardware. They have They have a lot. Yo.
And it works with PC.
Bruh. I'm stunned.
Yeah, shout out to Kasanova because Hori sells it. I copped it day one. I didn't even know the day was coming out. I walked through GameStop, I saw it, I'm like, here's my wallet.
Ori, I don't like that price.
Bro, let me know because I got some hookups. I know people out here selling that joint for like $60, $70 because I know a lot of people that pick up fight sticks and they don't even know how to use them. I'm like, it's a process. You got to process from pad to stick.
Yeah. And it's like I'm good with the controller, but I want to learn how to use the fight stick because, man, arcade gaming was where it's at, man. Yeah. That's how you play Street Fighter. Street Fighter is an arcade game, and it's if you were to play competitively on Street Fighter, which I eventually want to do, is you got to use a fight stick. You have to know how to use it. So I'm pretty good. I said the only game I'm good at competitively is ARMS. That's like
I need to get back on that game.
That's the only game I'm pretty good at competitively. And I've fought and beaten down a lot of people. I've got my butt whooped, but there's different people who would say, "Yo, I could beat you in ARMS." Like, okay. And then swipe. That's I play to win. I play to win.
That's how you gotta play, man. Play to win.
Den, I'm not going to Evo yet. I need to get my skill up. My favorite, my best character is Akuma. Akuma and Violent Ken are my best characters.
I was gonna say if you got Street Fighter 5,
I do not.
But you got Street Fighter.
I have Ultra Street Fighter 2. I have that.
We need to make this happen.
We do.
You're not ready.
We do. I have Ultra Street Fighter 2 ready.
Yo, I put myself in some hot water when I made that tweet. I was calling everybody out.
And I was like, yo, what's good?
Yo, you did. You came up like, what's good, man?
Like, I don't, because thing with me, I'm not afraid to catch an L. But I'm not afraid to keep fighting. Because one thing about fighting games for me, funny fighting game story. We still have time?
Yeah, man, we got plenty of time.
All right. So funny fighting game story with me. My boy, one of my best friends, best man at my wedding, he is naturally good at fighting games. Like he's better in fighting games than me all around. Mm-hmm. But one thing about me, he notices, and he says he proved it. I didn't believe him, but he said that I have a natural getting used to my opponent. Mm-hmm. And I just naturally know how to counter different people after seeing how they play once or twice. And not everyone I could do this to, but this dude, we was fighting somebody. We was leaving the movie theaters one time, and some of the, you know how the movie theaters have like arcades there sometimes. Mm-hmm. They had Tekken there. This dude, my boy was just playing Tekken, and this dude just put in the quarter and he beat my friend. So my dude put in the quarter and he said, "Yo, you got him." I'm like, okay. Played him, 2 round him, 1.
Wow.
Just from seeing him win once. And mind you, I don't play in the arcades like that. It's like I'm not a person who stay at the arcade. So it's like I naturally like using characters that would allow me to.
Since you said Tekken, I'm telling you, you're not ready.
Bruh. Don't do it. If Tekken 7 didn't get me upset, I'll buy it right now. If Tekken 7 didn't get me upset, I would buy it right now. But I love fighting games. Like Nintendo Direct actually was in one of my streams, and one of my boy Chips, I don't know if he's watching this right now, but he was beating me at one point in Dragon Ball FighterZ, right? Mm-hmm. After a while, he just stopped beating me. And I just kept on winning. There was at one point, the time the rec came in, he says, yo, your focus in fighting games is real. Because I started zoning in. It's like, you could be beating me, and I just start making that comeback out of nowhere. And Fighter Z, it's like, I will say this though, I don't like Fighter Z as a fighters. It's like first impressions, I said it's on the level of a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 meets Guilty Gear.
Yeah.
But in terms of balancing and in terms of spacing and mechanics, it's an easily abusable game. You can abuse that game so much to the point you can pull off so many infinite combos if you know how. And you can put it to the point where your opponent can't switch out their characters at all because it's being abused so much. So
yeah, I've experienced that with that game. That's actually what made me stop playing it. I haven't touched that game since February.
Dang, it just came out in January.
I know, right? Like when I started playing at some of the local tournaments out here, and I started seeing how some people play it to the point where you can't switch out. It's like it's full throttle. I'm like, okay, I'm done.
Exactly.
Because it's so easily exploitable. I'm like, I don't want to.
And I want them to balance it. If they balance it, then I'll take the game more seriously. But that's what I was telling my boy Chips, and he said the same thing. Because we was going through the same thing while we was playing each other. I was like, yo, this is not really, even when he was doing it to me, I was doing it to him. I'm like, that's not exactly fair, man. Yeah. I said, you could keep on abusing it. And me, I want a good fighting match.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want you to win because you could exploit a mechanic. That's why, all right, I may catch a lot of fire saying this, but I don't care. That's why I didn't care for Melee too much.
I mean, I got the door right there. So
I'll go on record saying that. I'll go on record saying that most people, and I proved it. I proved it when Brawl came out. Most people Yo, I proved it when people came out with Brawl. Everyone in my college who was wave dashing and knew how to wave dash and play like that, they destroyed me. They destroyed me in Melee. When Brawl came out, there was people I was 3-stocking. We would pay 3 stocks, and I would win all 3 stocks with Kirby at that. With Kirby. Kirby's been my favorite character. Kirby's been my favorite character. OJ, not me. Yo, Kirby has been my favorite character since the original Smash Brothers. That's what Shinobu, NX Revolution, I got to comment on this. It's bad in the sense of mechanics, but in terms of sales, for the longest time, it was the most sold fighting game for the longest time. You correct me if I'm wrong, right, Mikhail?
No, I fully agree with you on that.
It was the most sold game of all time. Now, I'm not going to say it was totally bad because so many people, I would say this. Brawl gave us Project M. Yeah. Project M, hold up, let me see. Project M gave us a better Smash 4. Project M gave us a better Smash 4, in my opinion. Because when you look at Project M and all the characters that are on there, some of them are in Brawl. I mean, some of them were in Smash 4 now.
Yeah.
You know, they brought back Roy, for instance. You know, that I felt they brought back Mewtwo. Mewtwo and Roy, I felt, were Project M favorites that they brought back. And the next Project M character that they're trying to bring back that I feel as though a lot of people are wanting to see is Mewtwo. I mean, I'm not Mewtwo, Goku. They want to see Goku in Smash. I don't see the point in bringing Goku.
Yeah.
I don't see the point. I mean, I would prefer Knuckles. I prefer someone like Rex or Mallows from Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Yeah.
You know, more so Mallows or Jin, really. Mallows or Jin, since they're blades, give us Mallows or Jin.
And Sephiroth.
Listen, we got Cloud. We could get Sephiroth. Give us Sephiroth. Give us Sephiroth. You can give us Sephiroth. Give us Vincent at least.
Yeah.
Give us Vincent or Sephiroth. But how would Sephiroth work though? Like his sword reach will be the longest in the game. Because there's no one else that's really has a better reach than him.
Because his sword is like 7 feet long. I
think. 8. It's an 8-foot long sword.
Yeah. Okay, so if they're gonna bring in any character, I want Adolf from Ys, but I think a lot of people wouldn't know who he is.
That's a good choice. That's a good chance to introduce him. Most people know who Ness was.
True.
That'd be a good opportunity. Most people didn't know who Pit was. Most people didn't know who Marth was. That's why I would say go for the unknown characters of these franchises. You know, go for Adolf. Go for like Mallows from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Don't just pick the main character. Go for a character in the game that will make the person say, yo, I want to check out this game because of this character. And then it's someone in the game that makes you have to look at the game in depth to get who this character is.
Yo, shout out to Shinobu, because I would love to see Crash. If you get Crash, Sonic, and Mario in one game.
Bro, do you remember that? Remember that GamePro magazine? It was either GamePro or Electronic Gaming Monthly. They were all 3 on one cover.
Yep, I remember that.
We need all 3. Let's go. That's all we needed. That's all we need, man. I'm excited for Smash though. I told people this, and I'm willing to be wrong on this, but I'm hoping, truly hoping, when it comes to Smash, that they're gonna just break the internet. And what I mean by that is, after the presentation or after the reveal trailer, they're gonna say available right now on Nintendo Switch.
Yo, they're gonna have to keep that on the hush hush though.
If they do that, Nintendo wins.
Hands down.
Nintendo won E3. That's the way to walk out of E3. They saved that trailer for last. It says available after the conference. What?
I mean, because if you think about it, I wouldn't want Smash to release in December. If you got Metroid in the works, bring Metroid in December. Let Smash be the game to carry through the summer.
I'm gonna tell you why I believe Smash. If it's not gonna be at E3, I promise it's gonna be a summer game. And I have a comparison why I believe so. And follow me on this. If you remember last year, the 2 invitationals were ARMS and Splatoon 2, right?
Yeah.
And Nintendo's been on this whole kick of not announcing games that are going to release too far ahead, right? So the 2 invitational games were during E3, and they released that summer, June and July.
Mm-hmm.
So what if Smash releases next month or in July? July is already a packed month, so that's why I'm saying June. And the reason I'm not saying August or anywhere in between that is because I'm giving time or giving some space between now and Pokemon.
That's a good point.
I'm giving space between now and Pokemon, because Pokemon's gonna be the holiday seller. Pokemon will be the holiday seller. That'll move units because they'll do a bundle package. They'll sell 1 yellow, 1 brown, 1 for Pikachu, 1 for Eevee, whichever Switch you want to get. So they'll bundle it that way. And I'm not, again, this is just speculating, guys. I'm just speculating. This is just me thinking from a business standpoint on how I would want to catch everyone off guard. No one is expecting Smash at E3 to be released. No one. meaning it's the opportune time. The game is finished. If you could play it, think about this. If you could play the game as an invitational, I'm willing to believe the game is mostly finished.
Yeah.
If the game is not finished, a demo will be available.
No, I like the way you think, sir. I like the way you think.
So that's what I see. But yeah, that's pretty much it on the games I went in. What games are you expecting, man? I know I went on.
The only games I'm looking forward to, well, I was looking forward to Ease on the Switch till yesterday.
Goodbye, sir. When I saw that, I was like, this dude here is getting easy. And I said, I gotta clear my backlog of games though. Before I start playing these games, before I start hitting these people, I'm gonna clear my backlog of games.
Well, I mean, the thing with NIS, if you make a good relationship with NIS America, man, they take care of you. I wasn't, because I was under the impression, I'm like, okay, so they gave me the PS4 version last year, they gave me the PC version this year. I'm like, okay, they're not going to give me the Switch one. Then they shoot me the email. Oh, here's 3 codes. I'm like, oh snap.
They gave you 3 codes for.
Oh no, 4. I got 4.
You got for the Switch? Oh.
So, yeah, I'm gonna be making an
announcement
about that.
Okay.
I got that. They gave me the Lost Child. I have another game that's coming out that a lot of people have been asking about, the SNK Fighter one.
1 second, man. 1 quick second.
Yeah. So, yeah, people, like, when it comes to games I'm looking forward to, Ease is something I'm looking forward to, because that finally being
my bad
back. No. I was just saying, like, games I'm looking forward to, that I'm finally back, happy seeing Ease back on the Nintendo platform. I was really looking forward to that on every time, which is funny because when I did my original review, I kept saying that, this would be amazing on the Switch, and then lo and behold, here it is. Mm-hmm. The other game that I was looking forward to, which I can't show footage of it, but it's the SNK Fighter one with the girls.
Oh, Fighters Heroines?
Yeah, I got that. Nice. It's pretty good. If you guys play King of Fighters 14, it's based on that engine.
Okay.
It's a lot of fun. Other game I'm looking forward to, I know a lot of people not looking forward to the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection, which
I'm looking forward to that heavily.
I'm surprised at the amount of people upset because it's not based on the Third Strike Online. Like, I'm looking forward to Third Strike, but it's not based on the Third Strike Online that came out on the PS3 and 360.
I only have one grievance with and it's for the Switch version. Only one grievance. The Switch version doesn't have as much incentive as the PS4 and the Xbox One versions.
With the lack of the Ultra Street Fighter 4.
Exactly.
I don't understand why they don't just bring it back.
That's the only thing that I say is not really cool on their part, because I'm like, it's way more incentive, mobile or not. There's way more incentive to get it on the PS4 right now. And it's like, it made me a little salty because I got my pre-order copy. I already paid for it. So I'm just gonna wait patiently till the game comes out. But I'm like, yo, if I would have known that, I would have pre-ordered it on my PS4 instead. Yeah. I pre-ordered it on my Switch because I said I want to play this game on the go, and I have friends who are gonna probably get it on the Switch instead. So I just said, you know what, let me just get it on the Switch. But I would have loved to play Ultra Street Fighter 4. But
yeah,
it is what it is.
It doesn't make sense as to why that's not going to be on the Switch version, because we got Street Fighter 4 on the 3DS.
Exactly.
It's like, go ahead. Like, I can understand us not getting Street Fighter 5. That was kind of a dick move by Sony. But I think a lot of people have to understand that Capcom was struggling for money, and Sony came through with a W.
Again, It's all politics at the end of the day. And when you understand, it's like looking at myself as a business, looking at myself as my own brand. That's why I understand why businesses work the way they do. That's why I understand why they make certain decisions. Some I don't understand. I won't lie. Some I don't understand. But when I do understand some of these companies, I'm like, okay, you're doing this because of this. And that's why I'll give my opinions and I'll voice my opinions the way I do, because I'm always looking from a business perspective. And it's hard for me sometimes to just be a fan, because I don't feel as though just being a fan is fair. You know, you're not going to really give any good dialogue to people who want to know more. You're not going to add to the conversation. You're only going to create more of a ruckus and create more of an annoyance for what people have.
Yeah.
So, this has been great, man.
I'm having a damn good time.
Same here. Same here, man.
I'm looking forward to that Mega Man X collection. Here's the thing. I got to say this because I'm amazed that I have not seen anything on YouTube with anyone saying this. I thought about doing a video. But Mega Man X collection tells me that we're getting an X9. And think about it. We got Mega Man 11 coming. Nobody saw that coming.
Nope.
So we're going to get an X9, and I think there's hope that we might get Mega Man Legends 3.
Bruh. Like the Mega Man collection that's out right now. I said I'm a pass on that only because I'm trying to reserve the space that's going to be required for the X collection.
Yeah. Like
the X collection, like there are so many games that I said I have to get this year, and it's my pockets aren't ready. That's why I said I need to do some other stuff, because my pockets aren't ready for Mega Man X collection. Then I gotta get Project Octopath Traveler. Then I need to get I may hold off on Crash, but then I need to get Monster Hunter Generations, which I'm gonna say something controversial again. That game is going to do really good. In fact, I believe that game is going to push way more units than expected. For me personally, playing the demo, I like the mechanics better than I do on Monster Hunter World. Like the hit ratio and how you're able to hit a target and the hit targeting is a lot easier and more effective on Monster Hunter Generations. And not only that, there's way more customizations in Monster Hunter Generations. Like it's smoother. I think it's going to play at 60 FPS. Mm-hmm. If not, the 30 FPS, it feels a bit smoother because there's not so much rendering on the screen. Like people forget, Monster Hunter World is a beautiful game. Don't get me wrong. It is a fantastic and spectacular looking game. In fact, it was the game I bought my PS4 with. And it's a great game, but outside of I feel like the repetition is more in that game. I don't know why, but I like Monster Hunter Generation because a lot of people don't tell you this. When you get into like the G rank monsters, they start doing new techniques that they didn't do before, which makes the game, which changes up. It's not so much repetitive nature. You go into the same area all the time, that may be repetitive, but how you fight a monster, you may need to change your weapon this time. You need to change your armor this time because this monster fights in such a different way that you need to change up your whole entire strategy. You can't use the same strategy for the same monster all the time. And that's what excites me the most about this game.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
So this is a thought that just popped in my head. Do you think we'll get Devil May Cry on the Switch? I have to ask because this kind of it should have been on the Switch, and Bayonetta just clowns it.
I want to say no, only because of conflict of interest. But then I want to say yes because I could see Nintendo pulling a fast one and adding Dante to the fight of Smash Brothers. I could really see Nintendo adding Dante because the whole biggest thing, Dante versus Bayonetta, like the trailer will be something with Bayonetta oriented, and you see Dante coming to the battle.
And people have been wanting to see that for like the longest. Because I remember back with the whole Project Cross Zone too. One of the guys actually said that he wished that would have happened.
I'm mad. I have to really applaud you, man. You are one of the first people I've ever heard mention that game outside of myself. I had that game on my 3DS. Project X Zone.
Yes.
One of my favorite games.
Yes.
One of my favorite games. Yes. I have to commend you for that, man, because a lot of people don't know about that. It's like that game has so much content. It was probably one of the best RPG, like strategy, tactical RPGs I've ever played.
Yes, sir.
Easily one of the best tactical RPGs. People talk about Fire Emblem being a great tactical RPG. Play Project X Zone. It will change your life. I'm so mad I didn't get to play 2 yet. And I think it's because, no, I know I didn't play 2 yet. Switch. Switch happened. Nintendo, do that. Project X Zone on the Switch. That's what needs to happen.
Make a Project X Zone collection.
3. Oh man, could you imagine that if they announced a Project X Zone port for the Switch?
And they translate and bring us the first one, which is Namco Cross Capcom.
What?
If they do that.
Yo, man.
See, people, this is what happens when you get like-minded people that podcast. It just goes.
Like this is dope. This is dope because I played like the 3DS. Like 3DS was really good. Like people were saying the 3DS should stop selling, and I was on that train for a little bit, but then I stopped. And I started looking at things from a business perspective, and I'm like, yo, the demographic that are buying this console is nearly as strong as the demographic buying PS4s right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you really can't, you don't want to get rid of that.
Yeah.
And they brought up a good point. Nintendo said when the Nintendo Switch is no longer a one-person household, but it's a one-per-person console, that's when they're going to cut off the 3DS.
Yeah.
And because they said that, I believe, I said this in one of my videos, I said the Zelda game that they're hiring someone for is for a 3DS game.
I can see that.
I say it's for a 3DS game. I don't believe they're going to work on a new Switch game this soon.
Because that's the way they made Breath of the Wild. I mean, that game, they could just make expansions.
You still need to process that game. Like, there are times, like literally, I could pull up my Switch right now. I can play Zelda Breath of the Wild, and it's a totally new experience when I last played. Like every time you turn on that game, it's a new experience. That's why that game won Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Like
I had some people saying that they prefer Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm like, honestly, I was on that bandwagon too until I played Breath of the Wild, which Zelda Fever killed. To me, I think Breath of the Wild killed Horizon Zero Dawn because that was the first game where you could literally climb and do anything. I don't think there's been a game like that before.
There hasn't been a game that has given you that much freedom to the point where, till this day, I'm seeing people come up with so many creative ideas. Like, I really feel Zelda Breath of the Wild was the alpha or the alpha testing of Nintendo Labo.
Yeah.
Like, literally, Zelda Breath of the Wild was the alpha testing of Nintendo Labo. Because that's all Labo is. Labo is you coming with your own imagination and building that up. Now, I will say this. I think that they're going to be building up the new Donkey Kong game like that. And Star Fox, I heard it may be called Lilac System. If they make a Star Fox game based on where it's more in depth, where you got to actually fly to new planets, and they make it kind of like Star Wars Battlefront, It's curtains again. Curtains for everybody else.
Man.
Curtains. That's basically what I'm getting at with this.
I can see it happening.
So, oh man, this has been fun.
It has been. This has been a lot of fun. I'm glad we didn't have the time restraints. So shout out to my wife for getting the kids.
I had to actually run to the room to call my wife because I heard my daughter crying. I was like, oh boy. So it's been, and shout out to her because she, kept my son, like, it wasn't time for his bed. It was his bedtime. We was late getting him to bed. So we just said, all right, just let him stay in our room for a little bit tonight. So I appreciate her so much. Man, but yeah, man.
It's awesome when you got a wife, a super supportive wife. I'm lucky my wife's also a gamer. Like, I lucked out.
My wife is not a gamer, but she'll watch, and if it's Mario Kart, she'll play. Like, she is not a gamer, but she supports the channel and everything. She definitely says, keep doing what you keep growing and everything, suggest different things. Even marketing wise, suggesting for me to, use my Instagram more. So I appreciate her.
Yes, sir. Closing thoughts, my man. Anything you want to leave the people with?
Closing thoughts, I would say, if you could pick up anything from this dialogue that we had, man, make sure whatever you do, you have fun.
Yes.
Make sure whatever you do, you're having fun while doing it. Because for me personally, we're going on almost 3 hours. 3 hours at a time.
Really?
Yeah, we are. Oh, wow. 3 hours out of my time, and I'm sure out of Mikhail's time. Is it Mikhail?
Yeah, Mikhail.
All right, I'm Mikhail. All right, I just want to make sure I'm pronouncing your name right. Out of our time is a lot. It's a lot of time. We're both, busy individuals, busy with entrepreneurial mindsets, and it's like we're always looking to grow, always looking to do different things. So investing this much time into this conversation is both an asset for us. Make sure if you're going to invest your time in different things, let it be an asset. To those of you who are listening, you're on social media. It's cool to follow people on social media. It's cool to retweet their stuff, but don't just let the day circle on by. If you got a passion, you're thinking about, should I do this? Should I do that? Just hop on it and do it. Sometimes it takes deleting certain apps off your phone to get some work done. And I'm telling you, as someone who has done that before, I've deleted Twitter and Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram off my phone so I can get some work done. So those are my thoughts.
Man, that's powerful, man. It's been an honor having you on the show. Man, we gotta collab more often, bro.
Definitely, man. I'm honored that you had me on, man. You hit me up. I was like, cause I seen when you had a few other people that I was like, yo, I said, this dude is having some people on. I said, Mikhail's really growing, man. I said, I like the fact you got this podcast going. And the fact that you invited me, I was like, ain't nothing to it, say nothing but a word. Let's go. I said, I will make more time. And then it's like, you're not the only person. It's like more people have been contacting me and saying they want to collab. So I just said, all right, let me see if I make this happen. And I just said, let me just start committing to, delegating more time to do this. So again, man, I truly appreciate you having me on, man.
Yes, sir, man. Anytime. I know it's the hardest thing too, because I don't think a lot of people watching know that we have a really big time difference between us.
Yeah, we do.
Is it
6 hours? Yeah, 6 hour time difference. So it's going on 12 o'clock here over in the East Coast.
It's 5:21 p.m. right now here in Hawaii.
Sheesh. Sheesh. Even when I'm streaming with OJ, it's like a 3 hours time difference. So even that's big. So when I only know about, because the nature of my job, it's like I know all the time zones.
Yeah.
So, or all the American time zones. So I know Hawaii is 6 hours away from the East Coast. So working with that, I was like, yo, we're gonna make this work somehow.
Definitely.
We're gonna make this work somehow. But definitely, everyone. Once again, if you haven't already, make sure you find me on YouTube at Avidan Smith. Name spelling he has in the title. Just copy and paste that. You'll see all my videos. Subscribe to the channel. I post every week. I post every week. I post about 2 to 3 videos a week, and I live stream often. So make sure you hit that notification bell. Join me on a live stream. We have a lot of fun. I'm actually on a live stream tonight, and I was thinking the whole time what I'm going to live stream. I'm going to have just a fighting game night. So between you can keep saying that, but you can come to the channel and we can settle it there. But
I'm ready, man. I got it ready. This is ready.
You know, I got ARMS. I got Ultra Street Fighter 2. I got Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. So I have fighters on the Switch. I'm gonna have I said Dragon Ball. I'm gonna have Street Fighter Anniversary Collection coming on May 29th, right?
For you guys,
yeah. Yo, I'm about tired of you. I'm about tired of this, man. But yeah, I got all these games. Hit it up. NX, thanks for coming by. Hope to see you guys in the chat later on tonight. I am going to be streaming only for about 2 hours tonight. I'm not going to overdo it because I gotta get up in the morning.
We got a question. Dan had a question. He wanted to ask what your thoughts on the Yakuza series.
I haven't really gotten into the series, man. Like I've seen a lot of people play them, and it's something that I said I would definitely get into. It's definitely an art form of a series. I will say that. From what I've looked up, it's different. It's something that I would say. All right, I've been saying controversial stuff all night. I might as well just keep it going. I will say story-wise, it is the true successor of Grand Theft Auto. Story-wise. Sticking to only the story.
I don't know.
Because I haven't been impressed since San Andreas. 5 is good, but 5 is not yet San Andreas. Maybe that's the old school of me talking.
I mean, I'm just gonna say that more Shenmue. I mean, because there's really, I wouldn't say there's any similarities between Yakuza and Grand Theft Auto.
I would say, I guess mainly because, well, all right, culture-wise, I can see that. Yeah, you're right. That is a better pick. I was thinking more so in terms of. I was going more so in terms of like how you join. Basically, you start off running with a squad.
Mm-hmm.
The whole squad running in Grand Theft Auto, and basically how it's always met with deception, and it's always a war between your squad and the next. That's kind of where I was going with it.
No, I see where you're going with it. I'm gonna tell you this: play Yakuza 0.
Okay.
And I'm willing to give you my PlayStation account to play it so you can download and try it. Because Yakuza 0, when you finish that game, you're gonna be like, what is life?
Oh boy.
It's so amazing because when I'm asked by people about Yakuza, I'm like, that game spans 30 years of a character's life. Like
exactly.
It's from the time he's 18 to the time in 6 where he's 48. So it's like, yeah, I implore you to play it.
Like literally, I'm gonna definitely get around to it. We'll talk more about that at the best optimal time for me to get to that. But definitely, I appreciate that offer, man. I actually want to ask you one question before we leave out.
Shoot.
What are your thoughts on Dead Rising? Matter of fact, I'll have a follow-up question with that. What are your thoughts on the Metal Gear series after Kojima parting ways with Konami?
Okay, I'm gonna put it this way: the whole Kojima Konami controversy, I didn't really buy into it. Like it didn't really bother me. I enjoyed five. I just felt like Metal Gear Solid 5 was really incomplete, especially with the stuff that people have shown. Like there was a whole third arc that we never got. And I feel
Right.
like I honestly feel like with Metal Gear Solid 5, I think we would have got four arcs because I felt like they intended to have it directly tie into the original Metal Gear better than what they did with better more so than what they did, where it kind of just hinted.
Mm-hmm.
As far as Dead Rising, I've enjoyed one, two, three, four. I've kind of been like, where are you guys going with it? Why did you change Frank's voice actor? Um, I don't know if there's really a market for Dead Rising anymore because I feel like the whole zombie thing is kind of played out. If I'm being honest, but gameplay wise, I enjoy it.
Dead. The only thing with Dead Rising to me, I'm starting to feel the. I'm going to call it the Kingdom Hearts effect. We see broken trailers here and there, broken trailers here and there, but not actual footage.
Yeah,
And that's what concerns me. We're seeing nothing but trailers, and nothing that's going to actually, excuse me, nothing that's going to actually, say, should I buy this game? And it's the trailers are so abstract. It's like, okay. And I think some people are just running off the hype that this is a Kojima made game and it looks so clean. And I'm saying clean,
oh, that new
going
one.
Hodge twins. Yeah,
Oh, that new one. Yeah, we haven't seen anything. Like you said,
we
yeah.
haven't. We haven't seen anything. We only saw trailers. And it's like we're just saying it looks just like this, it looks like this, but we're not saying anything great. It's like it hasn't looked anything that great to me.
Yeah.
So I just said I'd rather wait. I'd rather wait until it comes out, until I could, or we get real gameplay footage. In fact, that's my expectation for this E3 that Sony needs to show. Sony needs to show gameplay footage of that game more than anything. Don't show us another trailer. Show us some gameplay footage.
I'm about to say something controversial. It might pique the ire of some people. But since what was the game? The Order 1881, I feel like a
Mm-hmm.
lot of Sony's first party titles they have put out, or actually I can even go as far back to Infamous Second Son. I feel like the gameplay mechanics of Infamous, The Order, Horizon Zero Dawn, Uncharted, and even the current God of War. And my boy Amazing Lucas pointed this out too in his review video. They're too freaking similar,
They
and
are.
it's kind of like they're just taking what works and we're gonna expand upon that versus you know something original, like a just completely grounds up thing. And that's my issue with Sony. But I agree. Even that Days Gone, I'm like, okay, what separates Days Gone from The Last of Us?
What separates the new Tomb Raider from The Last of Us and Uncharted?
Other than it's a female.
So it's like they add, it's like the problem that I have is they use the same filter like for all of their games. For these first party games, they had like the same filter. And it's like make your games look different. Like you mentioned Horizon Zero Dawn earlier, right?
Yeah.
Horizon Zero Dawn. Okay. God of War. God of War 4, as amazing that game is, I can't shake the premise of Horizon Zero Dawn from it.
Yep. Do you have it?
God of War 4?
Yeah.
Not yet. I got Horizon Zero Dawn.
There's one thing about it, I'm not going to spoil anything about the story or anything, but when you see that first boss recycled like 7 to 8 times, you'll see what I mean about it.
Oh, you talking about the guy
No, the troll.
Thor's Thor's brother.
No. The troll.
The troll. Oh,
Like from the very beginning of the game, like that's the first boss, and they recycle that boss. They reskin it, same animations. You fight that boss I think it's 8 or 9 times you fight that same boss. And at one
gaming.
point, you fight two at the same time.
Gaming just changed all around. But man, well,
yeah, I guess it wraps it up, man.
Yeah, I'm all out. I said I'm all out of gems and everything, and I actually want to see if I can set up. Nuts said, "Am I sure I'm going to do 2 hours?" Because he's implying I may stream longer than that. No, I'm going to be constricted on time. Like I actually got to get up early tomorrow morning. So no, it will be no more than 2 hours.
All right, and guys, you can make sure you can find him. I got the links, everything in the description down below. So make sure you go and subscribe to his YouTube channel. Follow him on Twitter.
Appreciate it.
Ding that bell. Here's one thing I tell everyone: when you subscribe to someone's channel, make sure you ding the notification bell, because YouTube has been acting funny. Because even with any of your favorite content creators, they can put out new videos, and YouTube doesn't prioritize telling you that their videos are up. So
even when the bell is wrong.
That too. So
I've been going through that.
Yeah, so make sure you got the notification bell ding, and make sure you follow Avidan on Twitter, because when he goes live, his Twitter also tells you. So
yep, and I have a whole bunch of people who follow me who are retweeting that link all the time too. So you'll find me. So
all right,
you good? You good? My bad.
I was just gonna say, people, you can find this podcast. It'll be on iTunes, Google Play Music. You'll also find it on Spotify, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher Radio, and it'll also be on. I'm working on getting the podcast on Amazon Music. But
that'd be nice.
It's still a work in progress, but you'll be able to find this podcast. It'll be up in a couple of hours, and definitely make sure you share it and subscribe to the podcast here. Make sure you subscribe to my man Avidan, and yeah, man, go ahead, do your outro. Let people know.
My outro. Okay, we got to do it. We got to do it all the time. So, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. You hit that subscribe button twice if you haven't already. If you haven't subscribed to my man Mikkel, make sure you subscribe to his channel. Then go over to my channel. Make sure you subscribe to my channel as well. And most importantly, when this is available, you make sure you share this with a friend. Avidan and Mikkel, and we're out.
This is wild, people.